a great example.
As we touched on it this morning.
Ben Carson is one of the greatest neurosurgeons the world have seen. Not in the past 10 years. Not a black man, but
a lot of things going on.
One of the greatest surgeons.
Of course, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to start this morning.
Ben Carson is an example to every young man, whether you're black or white. When you look at me here, the name Ben Carson, the pride with which people talk about Ben Carson. As a black boy from nothing, who would have come and literally turned medicine on its head. He's the first of its kind.
Yes, grand rising to each and everyone. Grand rising to each and everyone who is logged onto the radio station, the official radio station for the Maroon Nation. Yours truly, Russ Gadites here. And as I said before, last time we touched these things, you know, a lot of people, they are not really aware. I want to say first and foremost that His Excellency Daniel Z. Bozra, he is doing well. We spoke to him this morning. And as the sovereign government, the Nyankapong Sovereign Maroon Global Tribal Nation Territories, we are one. We say, you know, no weapon that form family, you know, the Maroon Nation. I was graced to have the likes of, you know, Kojo. We call him Kojo because he's like a strength to all of us. Daniel Z. Bozra is also strength in itself when it comes on to this icon that we are talking about. And of course, his name is Dennis Fraser, but he's not just a Fraser, he's a Dennis. He's a rooted bloodline into the bloodline of Nani, Kojo, Taki. Now, this morning on the International Grand Rising Show, yeah, cameraman, bring us in, you know, because we're not really wait for deal with this. We just want to set it up. We were greeted with some sad news. My heart really did. I said, well, yo, this can't be happening because we see where His Excellency Daniel Z. Bozra has played a very important role in waking up the massive. Yes, me have my feathers in my head this morning. I'm mad. But me tell you some feathers up in my head this morning. Yes. Camera people, zoom in. So, he linked us with Mr. Reed, and Mr. Reed was one of the person that Daniel Z. Bozra was concerned about how he got dealt with when he reached into the place they call a Kongpong town, which is actually a man. They name the place after. So without any further ado, I think we have Kojo and Mr. Reed on the line. And you know how it's there already. We kind of set it up right. Grand Rising Lions. Grand Rising. How are thou?
Yes, sir. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. This is Mr. Reed, and I am great. I'm feeling great this morning. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Reed. And of course, Kojo, Grand Rising. I know it go already.
Blessed, brother. Blessed. More love.
Yes. What a time. Fire Friday, you know, and it's the people radio station for the Maroon Nation, and all of us have something in common. Where last night, I personally was aware of an attack upon the office of Daniel Z. Bozra in a Kongpong town. I want to touch on that first. Can I verify that there was an attack on the office?
Yes. That's 100%. But Mr. Foster is the best person to deal with that. The reason being, the office that was actually attacked,
yes,
it belonged to him. Yes. He owns it. It's his building, and I'm not sure if he's gonna sound a little happy with you this morning, but he's on fire because they kicked in his door,
Wow.
and to him that's a big I don't mean to laugh or chuckle, but it's funny because with the big respect this man has in life, I never knew you would have, brothers who are Maroons would actually think about assaulting, kicking in the Foster Indigenous Suffering Hotel. And it is such a big disrespect. But Mr. Foster is the one who is at the front talking with them, and just to make sure his hotel is good. So I think it's best if Mr. Foster, really answer that question, to be honest with you.
Kodjo, Mr. Foster, you have anything to say diplomatically towards the activity that is taking place on your private compound?
Yes, well, there was some threat that was made to Daniel Bozra.
Yes.
And we talk to Bozra and we tell Bozra, listen, you got to take these threats very, very seriously.
Yes.
Don't sleep on it because, So he assured me that he was going to, watch out for himself and make sure,
Yes.
he take care of himself. And so he was doing that. But as we all know, Bozra, he speaks out on anything that he sees that is injustice. So Bozra was at the hotel and he hears some voice calling. And they was calling for somebody else who reside there too.
Yes.
So he hailed back to them and tell them that man was there. So in process of doing that, he was walking up the stairs to go to the front door. And just as he reached up to the door was kicked in.
Yes.
And at least 6 or 7 armed men with machete, wood, guns, and all of that attacked Bozra. And they beat him badly.
Hold up, before you go any further, because someone sent something to our news desk about Richard Curry going around capturing properties. Is your compound under that threat as we speak?
Well,
it was Mr. Foster. That's where we got the intel that intend on capturing your place. And I didn't mean to cut in there, Ras, but
continue. We need to get this morning.
This is important for your listeners to know.
Yes, sir.
I got a phone call a couple hours after a letter was sent to Bozra. Now, I didn't see the letter. I didn't really care much about the letter, and I'll tell you why. Whenever Richard Curry sends out anything, it's really never anything of legality or sensibility, so I tend to just ignore it. But they said to me, it's very important you take a look at this letter. I got the letter, and when I was reading the letter, it says here that they're giving Daniel Bozra by noon to leave town.
Yes.
So I found that very strange. Why would you give a fellow Maroon a time period to pack and leave town? To me, that's some kind of renegade behavior, especially coming from a chief. So I didn't take it. I just kind of overlooked it, saying it's garbage.
Yes.
A couple hours later, a call came in. And the person said, is this Mr. Reed? I said, yes. Who is this? They said, I can't tell you my name. But it's important you listen to me very carefully. They are planning on going by Bozra to kill him. So I laugh at it. And the person said, it's not a joke. I said, who are you? They said, I can't tell you my name. I said, why did you block the number? They said, because I don't want you to know who I am. But I'm from Richard Curry's camp, and I'm letting you know.
Hold on. The person identify that they were calling because they are walking with the present chief, and this is a discussion that the chief was entertaining?
That is correct. So what they're doing, they're selling out the chief. They're selling out the chief. So he didn't want to tell me who he is. So I said to him, what you're telling me How do you know this is true? Because I'm one of them who was planning it, and I'm telling you, they're going to go for Bozra. Now, you have a choice, Mr. Reed. I've met you, but you don't know me. I've met you, but you're not going to remember me, because when you came to a compound, you met a lot of people, and I met you.
Yes.
I just love what you came with for the development of a compound. You know, you're just a cool man. I met you, but I'm telling you, Bozra's life is in trouble. Do me a favor. They're going to come X amount of time. And so I kind of said to myself, you know what? Let me not take this as a joke. Let me make a quick call. So I called Mr. Foster. I said, Mr. Foster, I have a little message here for you. Someone called saying that they're planning on killing Bozra. It needs to be on high alert. And we kind of take it lightly. Then Mr. Foster said to me, Kojo said to me, why don't you call Bozra and find out? So we called Bozra. I told Bozra. Someone called and said they're coming to kill you. And he took it lightly. He just laughed at it, saying, Jai's protecting him. And I'm not a Rasta, just to let you know. But, you know, I respect the culture and everything.
I understand that.
You know,
you're living in America. You're living in America like myself, where shooting range has become a regular activities, like going to the bar here in America. So you wouldn't.
It's like drinking water. Yes.
Yes.
So I said to myself, you know what? Since so many complaints has been put in on Richard Curry, let me go ahead and make a call. So I picked up the phone and I called the commissioner, one of the deputy commissioner of police, and I told him he was not even taking it real serious, because no one would be that bold. So he said to me, you know, Mr. Reed, it's our obligation as law enforcement to ensure that our citizens are well protected.
Yes.
So I begged him, I said, this gentleman named Bozra, he has done harm to no one. He's just a journalist. He's just a journalist for the compound news. All he does is just broadcast the news, just like you, Russ, exactly what you're doing. That's all he does. You know, he brings injustices to light to let you know the injustices, the wrong that's going on within the community. So I explained all that to him. He said, I've heard of Bozra. So, but tell you what I'm going to do, because it's a threat. We want to make sure it's okay. I'm going to send cars up there to check on him, to make sure he's okay, and just give them a warning. Let them know we heard about your threat, whatever it is. So the commissioner kept his promise. He sent the cars there. They spoke to Bozra. They gave the warning. We came. We're here. Leave the man alone, whatever it is. I thought that was all well and done. Only to find out later.
That's not how. This what we have to understand. And I listened to you where you're saying, and as I said, when this occur, it sends shockwave through our maroon government that we're establishing globally. We are not Hamas. We are not affiliated with any one of the groups that they are trying to paint violence, and we say the pen is greater than the sword. So this now, where you're unfolding to our listeners globally in a compound town, this sound like a personal vendetta where someone is saying that they are in charge of the whole running of Maroons, and it don't sound good to our listeners right now.
Well, Ross, I'll say this to you. If Mr. Curry was not under investigation by the FBI and the Jamaica Ministry of National Security, I would release some stuff to you. But right now, with an investigation overseas and locally, there are certain things we have to be very careful what we say.
Yes.
The problem here is that when the commissioner sent the cars there, this is what I was thinking. That's law enforcement. They came, they took a statement, they made a warning. Mr. Bozra, you're safe, we're here, we're done. Only to find out later that they went by, men, guns on their hip,
yes,
machete in hand,
yes,
clubs, wood.
Hold on. None of these individuals ever march go to Jamaica House or the Governor General House or them, but them march up on the private property of one of the most established brother bloodline in the dynasty and assaulted His Excellency on the private property. None of these heroes ever assault any institution that have been burdening our people with oppression over the years.
I've never heard that in history, Ras. I've never heard of it. Never heard of it. But you see, I hope your listeners are going to really listen to you to understand something. Daniel Bozra, from the get-go, initially, he has been the most aggressive, outspoken proponent about Richard Curry. So he has become a threat. He has become the biggest, most eminent threat to Richard Curry. And they cannot allow that to go on. The problem now is that here we are talking about their threat because it was never supposed to get this far. So the publicity is upon them now. So now they will do anything to make sure that everything goes away into the dark. And like I said, Russ, there's a lot. The FBI is doing its investigation. The State Department of the United States is doing their investigation.
Yeah.
I'll call his name. I don't think you don't think the commissioner would mind us calling his name, Mr. Foster. I mean, the
commissioner in the island of Jamaica, the Corporation of Jamaica.
Yes.
But what I want to interject right here, because Mr. Reed, we've been hearing on the assault of Daniel Z. Bozra, but this all stemmed from some curiosity that His Excellency shared with other offices as to a water plant, and you yourself being very enticed by the ancestors to invest some capital in a compound.
That is correct.
Talk to me about that. How did that all come to fruition while we're here this morning?
I will give you 10% of it, but like I said, Richard Curry is under investigation. Very deep one with the FBI. I don't want talking with you.
Yeah, I don't want I want to know how you actually, heard about Mr. Curry and his movement and the maroon and so forth.
Well, I'll tell you something. I was home one evening. I'll tell you. It was a little exciting. I was home one evening and my daughter, she actually at the time was going to the University of Florida, and she and her younger sister and some friends were in the room, and they were just laughing and saying, "Oh, come look at this guy here. He's just how women behave when they see certain guys." They were saying, "Oh, this guy is hot, and he's in the old Jamaican phrase, he's a girl them sugar and all that stuff." And I kind of laughed it off, hearing young girls acting silly. And then she said, "Dad, he's very popular." And I said, "Let me take a look here." When I looked at it, it says there's a new chief, and he's young, and he's going to bring all this prosperity to a compound. And the entire internet was all just on fire about him. So I said to myself, wow, this is nice. For the first time, there's going to be someone in a compound who's young, and he's intelligent, I thought. He's educated, I thought. He's going to bring peace and unity, I thought. So, you know what, let me talk to my attorney and one of my agents. Let's get in touch with them and see if we could bring investors from overseas into a compound just to do great things. So we did that, and we set the stage. Got in touch with them. We emailed back and forth. We talked, got to know each other. And I said to myself, the first thing needs to be done, let's get the young people involved. Let's stimulate their mind.
Yes.
One of my favorite games is chess. I love to play chess. I'm a master at chess. My kids are. They love chess. So I said, why don't I just bring chess to a compound for the first time? Bring an intellectually stimulating game for the young people's mind. They're going to love it. So made contact, not going to call the names of the people who I spoke with, and made contact and said, let me finance a dinner. A nice little dinner together where the young people can come out, have curry goat and chicken and drink, just have a nice time. And I personally will go teach them the game of chess. And
so where was the Richard Curry link at that time when you were having all of these aspirations? Because you said you meet Richard, and that's what we're trying to get, because it seems as if there has been some small attribute that has been promised to Richard, and he may be upset even about that attribute, and that attribute come in the form of investment. So my understanding within the whole story is that you went there, and upon reaching there, that's after the chess game tournament. That's after the chess club was set up. That's after all of that investment took place. You got dealt with in a difficult manner.
Yes, but that's a different situation. Let me leap year for you then, just to get to the main ingredient here. Let me just jump ahead. Forget the chest and whatever money was sent and how much investment was sent in and all. Just leave that alone.
Yes, sir.
An entity is involved, and I cannot call the name.
Okay.
The entity says, we will give the Maroons, each Maroon town, $1 million. That we will do. And it's a big reason why. It's for images, keep their name quiet, publicity. Too much is going on in the world. They have to protect their investment, whatever it is.
So a secret endeavor was pursued to give some money to $1 million to each of our so-called Maroon community.
Well, Ross, that's kind of wrong when you say so-called. You know, the entire
Nyankopong is ours. We are not giving. A Kongpong is a man, you know, it's not a place. And for the idiots, for the educated buffoons, them who out there who want to hold on to these sentiments, them need to open them cranium. I'm sorry. Oh, well, it's
true. No, you're right. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Yes,
you're
sir.
right.
Yes, sir. So I just said that.
So,
yeah, the money with $1 million for each community.
That is correct. So when I got back,
$1 million US or $1 million Jamaican.
Oh, forget the Jamaican dollar. It's $1 million.
All right.
$1 million. So I spoke to the gentleman who basically was in the middle of it, and they said, the person you need to speak to now who is in charge, it's not Richard Curry. You need to speak to the gentleman who runs the show. So I'm very curious. If you're the chief, why are your agents telling me I need to speak to someone else? It doesn't make any darn sense to me at all. No logics.
Yes.
So a gentleman came on the phone, very aggressive, introduced himself as, I hope I get the name right. He introduced himself as the plenipotentiary. I can't even pronounce the Latin word, but I'm going to tell you. It's the plenipotentiary, meaning the highest judge of the land, the man in charge of everything. Yeah. He said his name is Dominique, and he's inside the Jamaican politics. Big. His mom is big in the politics, and he's the king of the land.
His connection is within the Jamaica Corporation, the political arena.
I didn't know that at the time. I'm just getting introduced to him, and his name is Anu Tafari Zion El, which I kind of find strange. That's a Islamic name. It's Anu Zion El. So I realize now the chief is putting me onto the chief. The chief is no longer the chief. This man is the chief. So he's also the sheikh. He's a sheikh.
Yes, sir.
Which is even weirder. So he says to me, back and forth, we're having negotiation. Then I found out later why he was so aggressive on showing off. Bojo Bantan was actually sitting beside him, the chief and his entourage. So he was a little aggressive with me to show his power. So he came on the phone
he had international recording reggae musical ambassador Mark Myrie, aka Bojo Bantan, sitting beside him, you said.
Right. So now he's pumped, you know.
Yes, sir.
Very, very obnoxious. But I'm listening.
Yes, sir.
Because all my intention is to bring this entity to the Maroons to get the money for funding so they can go do development, whatever it is. So he says to me, which I found very shocking. He says to me, go back and tell them that we don't want $1 million. We need more. You just can't come talk to us about. And I'm saying to myself, here are people outside giving money like that, and you're going to tell me I must go back to the table and tell them you don't want $1 million.
So you had mentioned you had mentioned to them the people who was offering this.
They know. They know who the entities. But because of legal proceedings right now,
I know. We're not going calling them. We're not.
Yes, I cannot call them names. So I had to go back to the executives and explain to them what they said,
yes, sir.
Which they found very funny. They don't even have $1,000, much less they're refusing $1 million.
But when they say $1 million, this is $1 million for community activity, not individual, or would it be share?
No. It's not for individual. It's not for individual.
Okay.
It is to be given to the community so they can use it to do roads, build whatever they desire to do with it. It's up to them.
Okay.
So when I went back, they gave me another ultimatum. Why don't you do this? If you can do this, get all the chiefs together, every single chief, Chief Grizzle, Chief Latibodir, Chief Douglas, Chief Sterling Wallace, and Richard Curry, get them together at a table. so they can sit there, negotiate, talk as one unified body, then maybe it's a possibility we can give them more, and then they can stop calling our name and they can be developed and we move on. So what I did, I called my partner, young lady. Her name is Miss Lorna Anderson. She's a born, staunch, grown Maroon.
Yes.
Called her. We planned. We said, why don't we put a dinner together? We'll finance the dinner. We'll put the dinner together. We'll finance the dinner. Get all the chiefs together. Let them come. It's a prayer dinner. We call it. What did we call it, Mr. Foster? We gave it a name. You remember the name, Mr. Foster?
No, I don't.
Okay. We call it the Chief Unification Dinner. It's a unification dinner to unify the chiefs. So the Chief Curry got back with me, and Anu Elsa and Tafari got back with me, said they're planning things, everything is good. They spoke with all the chief, everything is coming together, don't worry about anything, they're all going to be there. It's a big fair, yes, everything is good. So we booked our flight, our ticket, flew out, got down to the center. Then Miss Anderson said to me, just go to the home you're staying at and take a shower, get the jacket, come back. The dinner is going to be great. So I'm in the shower, having a shower.
Yeah.
There's a knock on the door.
Yes, sir.
Which was a little bit weird. I'm a man taking a shower. They know I'm taking a shower. Why are they knocking on the door? So there's a knock on the door. I said, hello. The person said, hi, Mr. Reed? I said, yes. What? I'm in the shower. Can it wait? Well, my name is Shane. And the chief sent me to have a word with you. I said, well, I'm having a shower and I have to be at a dinner. He says, well, yes, that's what it's all about. The chief says that he wants you to come by his house as a special guest. And you have to hurry.
All of them, sorry, because may have some very intelligent people. Now, this is an emissary from Richard Curry that came to have you see the chief, right, the colonel. And
that is correct.
And
that is correct.
And the approach was, you have to immediately come right now, because it wasn't a planned thing, but he knew that you were going to come to Jim. He knew that you were going to be in the area or what?
Oh yeah, the entire world knew that I was coming down for the dinner. It was advertised. I mean, it was known. Everyone knows.
So you wanted to have a impromptu meeting with you right before the dinner.
That is correct. That is correct.
All right, continue.
So, and I'm going to let you know the name of the gentleman who came for me. Help me, Mr. Foster. What is the last name?
McLegan.
McLegan?
Shane, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, the gentleman's name is Shane. Shane McLegan. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know his last name. Mr. Foster says McLegan, so it is Shane McLegan. So I said to him, can it wait? He says, no, Mr. Reed, it's very important. The chief really wants to see you one-on-one because there's some details he wants to talk to you about. And when he gets done talking with you, he wants to escort you to the dinner as a special guest. I said, well, that sounds nice.
Wow.
That sounds nice. So I said to him, okay.
Very diplomatic. Very diplomatic.
Yeah, I mean, who would refuse a chief?
That's the kind of diplomacy I would expect from a young ambassador that just gotten into that protocol.
That is correct. So I said to him, okay, let me finish off. So I showered, brushed my teeth, cleaned up myself, shaved, came out. He was standing right at the bathroom door, which was a little weird to me. Yeah, very weird. He was right at the bathroom door.
Hold on. The chief or the emissary was at the bathroom door?
The gentleman, Shane, he was right at the bathroom door. So I went in the room. He came. It was like he's trying to, hurry me to make sure I don't go anywhere, which I'm not going anywhere. So I said to him, I cannot go see the chief until I let Miss Lorna Anderson know, since I'm a guest of hers. She has to know where I'm going. He said, don't worry. The chief already gotten in touch with Miss Anderson, and she's aware of everything, and she said, it's okay, you can go. So I said, okay, if Lorna says I can go, if Miss Anderson says I can go, then it's good. So got dressed. He says, the chief lived right up the road. I said, okay, let's go. When I got outside, it started to drizzle a little bit. So I jumped into the car. When I got in the car, there was one guy sitting on the right side of the seat, which I found very strange. I thought it was just he and I going to see the chief. So when I got in the car, he got into the front seat beside the driver. Then another guy came on my left-hand side, and they locked the door. So I was a little puzzled. You told me it's you and I, but here we go. Two guys, one on my left, one on my right, and they had this little turban thing like a towel wrapped around their face. The whole thing was just weird.
Yes.
So I said, who are you guys? I said, don't worry about it. To me, that was a little obnoxious now, and I want to get out of the car because don't come and talk to me like that. I'm a guest here. I don't know you. But they were all at the door. They held onto the door lock and squeezed me in the middle where I can't move, which is just weird again. The whole thing started to get very uncomfortable. So I said to Shane, how far is the chief away from here? Where is his house? He said, it's just around the corner. So we started driving. And we're driving for a little while. And I said to him, how far does the chief live from here? Then he said, we're not going to the chief's house. We're taking it somewhere else. At this moment, I know exactly.
So this was a kidnapping that actually manifests itself then?
But Russ, I'm going to say something to you. Where most Jamaicans are concerned, if you don't have a gun or a knife or a bomb at a man's head, it's not a kidnapping.
It's not a kidnapping?
If there's no gun to your head or a knife to your throat, it's not a kidnapping.
Intimidation plays a very cruel role when you're a visitor in an unknown land. And but I'm yet to comprehend this sort of diplomacy, because now we see where, if we're not calling it a kidnapping, you're taken against your will to where? Where did they take you?
No, this is where it gets a little messy. They brought me to a hut, and I later found out that the hut is called the Kinder Hut. That's what it's called.
Means,
Kinder Hut.
them say it mean family, so that's how they treat family.
So they brought me to the Kinder Hut. When I got there, there were at least 20 to 25 men in a circle with some women.
Yes, sir.
And beside the chief was Anu Tafari El Zion. And as I got there, the intimidation and questioning and interrogation was on.
Yeah.
He wanted to know, why am I bringing all the other chief into this? He wants to know how much money I'm getting. He wants to know how much money they are getting. He wants to know when am I going to get the money.
All of these details wasn't handed down to the chief prior to you getting on the ground.
Everything was given to him. We are going to have a dinner. All the chiefs will be there. It's a prayer dinner. At the dinner, we'll discuss everything, and then the money comes in, and you're good to go. So this is a big surprise to me now. I'm with the chief and Anu El Zion and all these men and some women telling me about where's the money, how much money is it going to be, what time it's going to be done. I wanted to leave, but I could not leave. There were men there. They had guns. They were wrapped in their Taliban outfit. In fact, I could not see El Zion's face.
Hold on, the bongo cat, Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed, you don't say me have my feathers in my head right now. And there's a reason why I want listeners to listen to Mr. Reed and know that this is not a movie script. This is something that is actually unfolding. It is unfolding because His Excellency Daniel Z. Bozra is nursing a disfractured shoulder. His shoulder has been knocked out of place. And this is stemming from what Mr. Reed is discussing as a habit now, where our diplomacy as maroon nationals are being dragged in the gutter by these sort of behavior. The mere reason that we are sovereign and we taken to ourselves the 284 years of nationality from 1738 to 39 is because we're above these squalors and these peasantry. And to really know if these allegations are really truthful, it shows that we have some house cleaning to do. But Mr. Reed, continue. After you said that you were inside a hut being intimidated by your fellow brothers and sisters who suffered also for 400 years. Where you say take place? Talk to me.
And I don't mean to beat you up here, Russ, but you said a hut, but it's a special hut. I found out later it's called a kinder hut. It's the most special hut in Jamaica. It's the kinder hut. It's this like the heart of the family within a compound. The kinder hut.
But
That's
as
where I was.
as I said to you a while ago, and we need my listeners them to know, and anybody want to dispute this, we are not putting any gesture on no one jurisdictional area of our Nyankopong Island for the corporation figure more or less so we can go around there and spray. The kinder hut, the kinder hut where you have there is very brilliant. But at the same time, if we go and have the kinder hut where we are going to have some little nasty habits that take place, we don't need fear put it on a pedestal, because I don't like the fact that this is being talked about internationally from a youngster who just get less than 2 years to be a chief of a Kongpong town, one of the prestige place in a Nyankopong, and it's turning out like this. It don't sound good. But carry on, Mr. Reed. May you hear with the final snap, because we have some other people. Yes, sir.
So now the bottom line is I could not leave there unless I made a promise. And he poked me in the chest very aggressively, and he handed me a piece of paper and said, "This is $2.5 million. It must be deposited in the chief's account." And he says to me, it can be in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and I'm not talking about Jamaican dollars. I'm talking about 2.5 million US dollars. He gave me the paper. Held the paper, I looked at it, my heart leaped, because I cannot put $2.5 million in Richard Curry's account. I don't have it. They think I'm this big millionaire coming from the States. I'm just a businessman, nothing more. I don't have $2.5 million. So I start to choke up now because I don't know what to tell him. And I know everybody's paying attention on me. All eyes are on me, looking at me, what I'm going to say. My heart relaxed. I played it cool. I said, tell you what, when I leave here, I will do my best. I'll do my best to make sure that if I cannot give you the 2.5 mil, at least I'll give you maybe $1 million, and I guarantee you it will be in your account. And I know darn well they would believe that. But the problem is, Russ, which I didn't tell you, was before I came down, they called me and I went on my satellite phone. They said to me that apart from the money that they're asking for, they want to use it to do something.
Yes.
Richard Curry had on the satellite phone with me, a gentleman by the name of Alex Moore from Moortown, and they had a young lady named Hope, which they were telling me is going to be the next nanny, and she's going to be the next ruler of Moortown. And the chief at the time, I didn't know, his name is Mr. Sterling Wallace.
Yes, sir. So
they said to me, since we're in a secret meeting, what they would like me to do is to help them finance a coup. They want to take over Moortown from Sterling Wallace. So they said to me, everything is in the plan right now, but they need some money to do advertising, to recruit some guys and so forth. And they're planning to go there, take over, put the young lady Hope in charge, who will answer to Curry, and get out Mr. Wallace. They told me the date, the plan, and everything. And what I did, because I did not like it, it is just the most ridiculous thing in the world. I picked up the phone and I called Sterling Wallace, Colonel Wallace.
Yeah.
And I said to him, Richard Curry and who just told me, along with a gentleman from your community, his name is Alex Moore. I think they said he's the magistrate or he's the
Richard Curry, you're saying, and people were talking to Mr. Reed, he has given his time right here this morning, because we see where a tribal in fighting seems to be taking place, and you've just mentioned a while ago a coup. We're also talking about the assault on His Excellency's office, Daniel Z. Bozra. But you're saying that from the camp of Richard Curry, there was a coup attempt to dethrone Mr. Sterling.
His name is Wallace.
Mr.
Yes,
Wallace.
He's the chief of. Yeah, he's a colonel for the. Am I right, Mr. Foster? I think it's the Moortown. It's the Moortown Maroons.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's the Moortown Maroons, and he wanted me to finance the venture. So the plan was to he told me, once we get out Colonel Wallace and the young lady named Hope gets in, Hope will answer to Richard Curry. And once Hope is there, Chief Latimer there and Chief Douglas, that's a female, she will answer to Hope. So every one of them will answer to Chief Curry, and Chief Curry will be what you call a premier chief, and then they will be colonel, so they'll all answer to him. And I didn't like the plan, so I went and I called Chief Sterling. I explained to him. Chief Sterling never believed me. He never did. He never did. It's in the coming days he called me back and he said he's hearing rumors there's going to be an election inside Morton. And I said, what did I tell Mr. Sterling? He said, Mr. Reed, they can't have an election. The Council of Elders has to call it, or I have to call it because I'm chief for life. I said, well, you're not going to be chief for life because they told me by all means they're going to get you out. That is when he realized I was telling him the truth. And he went ahead, I think he called the JCF, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and the military came in and basically they broke it up. And I knew when Richard was mad with me like hell. So when I came down, that's part of the problem they had with me because I told Mr. Sterling what went down. So that's where the big problem came from because I basically was not a part of their garbage.
No, Mr. Reed, you have become very instrumental because off of that premises where you just explained a while ago, building a relationship, trying to invest some money within the infrastructures of the country, under the Maroon auspices, and it seems as if Chief Curry wants to operate as the supreme leader or supreme chief.
Not seems like, Ross. That was the plan. If you look at the invitation and the plans and all that, what it is he is the premier chief and everyone else is a colonel. That was the plan. And to be honest with you, a lot of us went along with it because we thought he was going to be a genius among the Maroons and make a compound and the Maroons great. That was the thought.
So hold on. You, Mr. Reed, believe that Richard Curry, we have a treaty of people. We just put up this treaty and it's very important for us to read this treaty. It's a remnant of a so-called treaty that they put up, but we have a blood treaty as to our indigenous rights, birth rights from 1738. You subscribe to the likes of how Richard Curry has really come across as a gallus or as a leader? That may I ask you.
When he first came into light, not just me, the entire world was happy for him.
Rubbish, hogwash. Don't come on the radio station with them hogwash there. We as Maroon are suffering for how many years under the foolishness of the Jamaica Corporation, And any chief, colonel, or anybody will get up. I want to join with the Corporation of Jamaica, which our Maroon don't have a blood treaty with the Corporation of Jamaica. We have a blood treaty with the British Empire. So any colonel or anyone who have a frame of mind who proud to be Jamaica need to know that they are nothing more than captured individual by birthright, walking around with birth paper. So I don't want you to say that on the radio station that he was brilliant. The corporation shine him up and make him look brilliant, but he has never come to the table of the people to discuss with us where we are right now. We're not running a gang.
That I found out later, Russ. I was very ignorant to the history. I am going to be honest with you. I was very ignorant to the Maroon history.
You wanted to be free. You saw your liberation and you wanted it. And Mr. Richard Curry is occupying an office that has the word liberty mark all over it. 284 years of it. But if you're in an office and don't know the meaning and the running of the office, you will be a monkey in that office. And he's young. And we said to him that Richard Curry and all of the people that surround him need not to isolate themselves from us, the people. Because even if you went into a business agreement with him and he had concerns, he still have to know that not everybody a walk around in a bush with tree on them head. And of them, the Maroon alone about. We have intellectual Maroons who are very, very authentic to carry this nation forward. You should be ashamed of Marcus Garvey birthday. These atrocities are taking place. We don't need these low life attitudes where we're kidnapping people and trying to make people like we're begging them to help us. $1 million is money. $2 million is money. We are priceless in this corporation and them know it. Bauxite alone can make we have a factory down there. These are the things that we have to big up L.A. Lewis for, because L.A. Lewis have vision, and where there's no vision, the people shall perish. We don't have time for fight over spoils and benefits. That's what the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party have been doing over the last 60 years, dangling treat quits in front of our people and dividing them. Mr. Reed, I'm very, very, very cut up about it, because my son and my nephews and my niece and the next generation is depending on us to make tomorrow a greater day. And these little distractions continue.
And Raz, I'm going to tell you, like I said, I can only give you 5 or 10%. You have no idea. But I'm going to say this, what really, really got me real mad.
Yes, sir.
The main man who is Anu Tafari El Zain, he called me one night with a couple of gentlemen on the phone. And he said to me, get on your satellite phone. I have someone to introduce to you. I need to talk to you. And for someone to call me on a Sunday night with the family, 12 midnight, that's a very urgent call. So I got my sat phone and he came on and he introduced me to a gentleman called Mustafa. And they explained to me who Mustafa is. And Mustafa introduced himself, and he's going through some legal problems up in Connecticut due to some PPP loan of $4.5 million he took. And Mr. Foster just brought it to my attention that the Fed actually gave him 10 years with the PPP scam. So he had a stone, it's a ruby stone. And Mr. Zion L emailed me a barrage of paperwork about the stone. And I looked at the value of the stone, and the value of the stone is said to be worth 700. Mr. Foster, help me here just to make sure I've got the right number, because you got the documents too. The stone is valued at what was that, Mr. Foster? Like 700 and something, 772 million US dollars, I think it is.
Yeah, that is close, yes.
Yes, about 700, because I thought I was privy to all of this, Ross. Only to find out that Mr. Foster himself got the same info about the stone and many other people.
Yeah, so man, that stone that we up to last night, our news desk resurrect the video about a Kong Pong News shedding some light on this blessings as to what, because as I've tried to reach out to Timothy, and Timothy, if you're listening, this is not a time to hide, because if them can raid Donald Trump house, them can raid anybody else. This secret society thing, with its maroon thing evolving, it is causing so much harm to our people more than good.
Yes, it is.
Because right now, everybody wake up, and it's like every lion want to run and rule the pack. Nobody don't want to lead the pack. Our people are suffering. I just talked to a woman 2 days ago where she lose all our grandchildren them. She lose all our grandchildren them. I'm going to see Richard Curry go down there and comfort the people them. United we stand, divided we fall. The corporation done a pressure with people already. The only thing the government can give us is SOS. State of, state of emergency. That's all them are sending in. And the police them get tired and frustrated. Some more shutter go bust now. And we the over here over some small things. We urge for the calmness right now, because it is disgusting to see it reach a physical part where we are mashing up one another. The corporation are mash we up, and we are mash up ourselves. But give me the next part where you talk about, Mr. Reed. So
that's when I found out now that the gentleman who owns the stone, his name is Mustafa. Yes. And what Mr. Zan Anuel did basically is snatch the stone away from him.
Rascal.
So what Mr. Anu Zan El has done, he promised the chief a couple $1 million out of the stone. Before we all knew the stone was stolen, he already promised the chief to give him a couple million US out of the stone, the value of the stone. Remember, us, the stone was said to be valued at, well, if you see the paper, you have seen the valuation too. The stone is valued at, no, not 70, 700.
700.
Look again.
700 million or billion.
700 and something million US dollars. That's what the stone is valued. So the chief was promised maybe half of that money. So the chief has to hold on to Anu, because Anu is the financial god. He has to hold on to it. But when he started to promise me now, I said to my wife, you have to look at this. $2.something million he's promising me if I can help him to hold on to the stone. But, she kind of found it to be a little suspicious. Then this is where Mr. Foster got involved. Later on, I met him. He said, Mr. Reed, let me send you some stuff. And Mr. Foster sent me some stuff showing me he got the stone valuated in the United States. And not only did he get the stone evaluated in the United States, he sent me pictures of other stones just like it. So what I found out was that, I know it's a fraud. He's using this stone to launch a cryptocurrency called the unit of new coin, which is a lie to the compound people. There's no such a thing as new coin cryptocurrency. It's all a lie. Just one big lie, and it's just tricking the Maroons into believing that he's there for glory. When he's explaining to me basically what he's all about is to get a hold into the cockpit country for land. So when he's saying Mr. Andrew Holness is the one who's taking the land.
Hold on, the man. What you say? Anu is working through the chief's office that is owned by the people to acquire private property?
From the Maroon cockpit country. That is correct.
My people.
That is correct. But the Maroons don't know this.
Rastafari.
That is why Richard Curry is at war with the Prime Minister of Jamaica, because the Prime Minister of Jamaica is encroaching on his land that he has plans for. This is what the public don't understand.
His
and I'm
land.
sorry,
How come what? A compound town him claim as his land? It
is technically a compound belongs to him, because right now as I'm speaking with you, a compound is now an estate.
Yes,
it is an estate.
And that me I wonder right now. How did a compound, a person, become an estate? But this is tricky. You know, if he has a trust with a compound and all of the inhabitants who live within a compound town signing off on that trust, which we know that the vote that run the last time, where it says much 680 people did come forth out of the majority of nearly 5,000. We don't know, the census not really come into the desk yet. But you're saying that Richard Curry has in his possession documents showing that he's the owner for a compound town land?
Well, all the letters he send out now, it doesn't say a compound town anymore. It says estate. A compound estate.
Yes. That's
private ownership. But I'm going to tell you, I'm embarrassing myself for us. I'm not the expert on all of this. But Daniel Bozra would be the ideal person to really, explain the legalities of all this to you. I really don't know. Daniel is the person who really would be the best person to explain to you the legalities and all that.
That is why the Excellency Office was attacked. Because we hear that the hoodlums go inside with the intention not only to cause harm to His Excellency, but to also, see whatever information they could retrieve. Are these people working with the underground agencies? This is looking very, very serious, people. But I want to take this time out to say thanks to the Coromantee Warriors, Secret Service, who definitely reach out to us and let us know that it is being looked into, because we know that we are fighting wickedness in high and low places, and we are only urging at this time that we have a tape we're going to play with Richard Curry asking some very serious question, and I pick up from it that he is feeling like retaliation or something of that sort. We don't have no time to retaliate against real Maroons who are intentionally aiming to liberate our people. We don't have any time for the tribal infight. But right now something has been done, and Mr. Reed, carry on with what you're saying.
If I may take this moment, which I call an auspicious moment, right?
Yes,
on a personal, two things on a personal level I would like to say.
Yes,
the gentleman, wherever you are, who called me, I want to tell you, thank you very much. I really appreciated it, because when you told me they were going to go attack Bozra at the Foster Indigenous Sovereign Hotel, I did not believe you. And I want to apologize to you. It's not that I think you're a liar. I just didn't believe that Richard Curry would be that bold. But I have to say this to you. You have my number, and I want to say this to the public. The FBI would love to talk to you, as well as the Jamaican government. The commissioner would talk with you. And I'm going to promise you this. You come forward, there'll be a reward for you. This is me personally telling you to the public. The world is hearing. Come forward. I personally will guarantee that you get a reward. There's nothing to fear. The money I know the FBI can give to you, or even the Jamaican government, and myself as a businessman would like you to come forward. You don't need to worry. You're under protection. No one can harm you. Call my number. Just let me know that you're the person. We can talk. I'll verify who you are, and I guarantee you the amount of money you will get by coming forward, Richard Curry cannot give it to you. So wherever you are, just call me, and I guarantee you, you can speak with the FBI or commissioner in Jamaica, and no harm will come to you. And the second point is, Ross, everyone is saying that the former colonel, and this is a joke, the former colonel is coming to a compound. Number one, Ross, he lives there. He's a resident in a compound. So yes, he can go home. The problem he's having is that the bank that he and Timothy McFarlane built together, it's a bank. Timothy and him built it together. Richard Curry kicked in the door. They took out documents, computers. In other words, they raided the place. They put a lock on the place, lock it up. They did not ask permission from Timothy McPherson that they can go in the building. They never asked permission from from the Colonel, Fern Williams, to go in the building. They kicked in the building, knock it up, knock the doors down. I heard they're cooking inside, painting the building, having fun. They're taking computers, taking paperwork. So it's obvious that the Colonel, the former Colonel, Mr. Williams, he wants to go take his building back. So he has to go there. So when they're saying the colonel is coming, the former colonel is coming to kill everyone and shoot up Richard Curry, it's all a lie. Just like Mr. Foster, he's so angry, he wants to go see his building and fix his door that they kicked in and everything. It's the same thing with Mr. Williams. He just wants to go to his building.
So this tape now where Richard Curry has put forward, I wish I could play it. I think I could play it, but I don't want to keep up a lot of time. He is asking that the community be aware of outsiders who want to infiltrate. Why do you believe that Mr. Curry is so secretive in his action? Do you think that he is knowledgeable, knowing that there are forces out there that is going to come at him, like the former chief, when he and Mr. Williams have been buddies for how long? What's that about?
Here's the thing. His entire plan is just falling apart. And, his base is deserting him. Look at this guy who called me just to sell him out, telling me about they're going to attack Bozra. And they're stupid. Someone, just notify us they're going to attack Bozra. And before they stop, they still attack them. Their very own group is selling them out one by one. And somebody told me when his administration started, he had 15 people. Now he's down to 5 people. So what he's doing now, he's just using the young girls, the young boys in the community to do stupid stuff. I heard that they're checking people going in and out of a compound. You have to show ID. They're searching people down. If you come in, you have to tell them if you have a gun or not. He's going to take your gun from you. One resident called me and asked, Mr. Reed, can you do something? Can you call the Prime Minister? Can you call the Commissioner? Please, we're under siege. If they take your gun, where's Richard Curry going to put the guns that he takes from people? Who gives him the right to take your gun? Who gives him the right to search you? It's just one big madhouse. But the bottom line is, Ross, his entire little house is crumbling. And he's just trying to talk to his, his loyal. It's loyal. In every group, even in the Marxist era, there's always those die-hard fans who will just die for you. No matter how wrong you are, how bad you are, they will never believe a single word that the chief is just a bad person. They just think that he's God, and they will die for it.
So,
it's just what it is.
So right now, you sound a bit not only concerned, but disheartened at your pick for colonel or administrative office within a compound town. Now that you have seen the light that Mr. Curry doesn't share the vision that several in the community share, what the advice you have to say to Richard Curry?
Here's the thing, and this is another thing I didn't want to say, Russ, but I'm going to say it.
Yes.
And I'm going to call his name too. The gentleman won't mind. His name is Mr. Wright, Hubert Wright.
Yes.
I was on the phone with him. First time I'm speaking with him, and ironically, Mr. Foster is the one who said, Mr. Reed, there's a gentleman here who wants to speak with you. And the gentleman started to say, Mr. Reed, I heard about you and what you were trying to do, and I beg of you, don't leave us, don't desert us, help us, reach out. You're in America, reach out to the world, let them know what's going on here, let the public know what's happening. And this gentleman, Ross, he started to cry. So, I thought he was a young guy, maybe in his 40s, 50s, 30s, I thought he was young, and I'm like, this young man is crying. So, but his voice sounded elderly. So I said to him, what's your first name? He says, Hubert, I think it's Herbert or Hubert. And he started to cry. And I said, Mr. Wright, how old are you? I asked him. And he was choking up. He says, I'm 74 years old, Mr. Reed. I'm 74 years old. And in entire history of a compound, I have never seen anything like this in all my life. Don't abandon us. Please talk to people internationally. Don't abandon us. Please, we need help. Then someone called me the other day, actually a couple of days ago, and they told me something in secrecy, and they said, help us, help us, help us. They want to go ahead and form what you call a council of elders.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know much about it, but what I found out, Ross, is that the council of elders, throughout the history from the day of Kojo and Nani, they run supreme above the chief. I never knew that.
Well,
before you go any further,
Yes, sir. Before you go any further, have you heard about the Nyankopong Sovereign Maroon Global Tribal Nation Territories, headed by?
If I say I did, I would be lying. Now, like I said, Ross, I'm very ignorant to Maroon.
All right, let me ask another question. Even Kojo know L.A. Lewis. Have you ever spoken to L.A. Lewis?
I've seen him once in a video, and everyone was telling me that he's a little crazy. That's what they told me.
They said that about Marcus too. But I would encourage you at this time, because the stone that the builder refused shall become the head cornerstone. Our destiny is not determined by the educated buffoons who figure more or less that their money carry weight. Our people are not for sale. Our sovereignty will never be for sale. And I would encourage you, because you sound like a very practical individual who want to get things done,
I've always been, Ross. That's who I am, sir. That's who I am.
And I would encourage you, because don't just look at Mr. Lewis as the entire pack. There's some kings and queens and diamonds and some SS spades in there too. And we collectively believe that we have to find a way forward. And if we have people calling you in the age of 74 explaining to you that they're financially embarrassed, which we know that in our government that we have these kind of people, but it is the fact that nothing is being done, and it's not a money problem we have a corporation problem where we refuse to unite. These little distraction that is happening right now, people are suffering in a Kongpong town and other places in Nyankopong. We have a project from Mr. Dennis that need to be finished. You can talk to Dennis, because Mr. Dennis right now, if we get the place, the setup would have all cameras around it where these little hoodlums behavior would not occur. I would encourage these kind of movement, Mr. Reed, because you sound like a practical individual.
But you did say to me, Ross, if there's anything I would like to say to the people of a compound.
Yes, sir.
What I would say to their compounders is very simple. Richard Curry has been in power now for almost 2 years. 2 years. And for the past year and something, almost 2 years, investors have stepped forward with millions of dollars. He has turned them down because he wanted the money to come to him directly. Some of these investors I have spoken with myself, and they have nothing to do with a compound anymore. They're embarrassed. They don't want to deal with a compound. So I have to try to tell them, it is not that they don't want to deal with a compound. It is Richard Curry they don't want to deal with. So by you defending Richard Curry, you're keeping investors away. Let's take it home a little closer, Ross. The Prime Minister of Jamaica has made it publicly known he's not going to be funding a compound, but yet he's funding the other maroon pounds. It is not that Andrew Holness dislikes the Maroons or does not want to fund the Maroons. He wants to. But it is Richard Curry he has a problem with, not the beautiful people of a compound. I've been to a compound. They're the most peaceful people in the world. Wonderful people. Decent, wonderful, humble, magnificent people. It is Richard Curry who has got the people under a spell. And the lies he's telling them, the trickery he's playing on them, they believe he is God. They believe he's the Messiah. That's the problem. So my thing to them is that they say that there's a council of elders being formed. Support the council of elders. The council of elders is more important than the chief. They have the supreme right of the land from the day of cudgel. And if a council of elders can be formed and tell Richard Curry he has to leave because there's a vote of no confidence, he has to leave, Russ. So that is their secret weapon they need to work on. Put the council of elders together, give Richard Curry the vote of no confidence, and he has to leave. The council of elders, they reign supreme. That's all I have to say to the people, sir.
Thank you. That recipe sounds very, very, as we said, it is not a good recipe with the council of elders, but there are things in place already. There are several communities that acclaim to the indigenous rights of the Maroon, who are the rightful ruler of that island. And if this atrocity upon His Excellency, where his office has been assaulted, does not draw a line for they themselves, then we don't have any collective security for surety.
That is true. That is true.
This in its sense, and people, I just got the picture, our newsroom has just sent over the picture to us where we have of His Excellency. And I must say that it's not a pretty picture. No one should go through this kind of brutalization from their very own. It is not acceptable. It is not acceptable. And we're saying this is not good. I can't even look at this picture too long. I have to take it down. But I am saying that as far as this investigation goes, it has to be a collective one, and we in the diaspora, we will be activating, and we have activated our Coromantee services to look deeply behind this, because we're understanding that some people are even disgruntled on a monetary base, because they are thinking more or less that all money should go towards Richard Curry, which when Richard Curry was selected by the people who voted for him, it was under the auspices that he would run an office, not a street side shop. We don't want that kind of caliber of governance from the Maroon in no aspect. We are a very indigenous and proud tribal people who have set our standard. Our ancestors have set a standard where we don't surrender. We do not surrender. We do not have time for bickering between each other, how many goats and how many cow belong to, when we have other people out there aiming their bullets at us as we speak right now. I'm asking anyone who is associated with Richard Curry, when I finish talking to Mr. Reed, I'm going to be here until 2 o'clock. We're going to touch all over the place. Canada. Last night, my phone go haywire because every office of the Maroon is concerned about this. If this is coming straight from Mr. Richard Curry office, he needs to address this now, and don't address it as a victim, because the victim is Daniel Z. Bozra. He is the one nursing the wounds. You must address this clear and transparently as a leader that has been elected as a servant of the people, which is the indigenous people called the Maroons, which we are. Mr. Reed, I want to say enough respect for your time, because I don't think we touch at the tip of the iceberg, because...
No, Russ.
Wow.
No, you haven't. Like I said, you'll get 5 or 10%, sir.
Yes.
I can't give it. I guess when I come off the phone, I might get a call from the commissioner saying I spoke a little bit too much.
Yes,
I know that the lead investigator for the FBI will be calling me, because I promised him I would not open my mouth. But the way Mr. Dennis Foster made you out to be, he says if you need to speak to anyone, this is the man you need to speak with. So that's the only reason I'm on the phone, because of your credibility.
Yes.
That came from Mr. Foster.
And as far as Kojogo, aka Mr. Dennis Foster, I hope that you and Mr. Reed can come to some overstanding, because I think that the invasion of your private property by other people is not a good sentiment that you share, and you're caught up about that, because this is years of bringing us to this point, and Daniel is like a son, is like a brother, is like a relative. Like a relative. We don't know where this animosity is stemming from over some. We have the right to ask questions. We have the God-given rights to ask questions, and you know, if you want to, they could have come and have some drink and talk over things. Years now, from Mr. Curry get elected, for Mr. Williams is there and offer L.A. Lewis for ketamine, and we tell him, say, what kind of ketamine? And it's like, say, Mr. Ferran Willis left back a book in our house or something, and Mr. Richard Curry get a hold of it where him feel like, say, this house nigga, bossy slave thing where you beat your own people, them, is something where we adhere to. We not deal with bossy slave. You can't beat none away. And if you touch none away, all away I go burn down the plantation, and so we rest. Maroon mean wild and tame. That means say we not governed by their rules and regulation. We have 284 years, and it's a shame that it happened in a Marcus Garvey month. His Excellency got attacked by unscrupulous individuals who don't know the true legacy of what we're fighting for. When you see Daniel Z. Bozra go on social media, or myself go on social media, we should not be at risk from our own people. We should not be afraid of our own people to talk about the injustice that is happening to our people by our very same people. So right now, Mr. Richard Curry, you need to call, you know, because I whole earth we are running, we not run no world, you know, because world done. COVID mash up that earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. And we done have a candle light already, you know, see it there? I light a white candle this morning. You see where in my head? I have a bird feather in my head. So even the Moors them know, so the ancestors them know, so me not ramp with this. Me reach too far with the maroon agenda for make some little egotistical people come mash up this. You can't mash up this, you can't mash up this, you not gonna mash up this.
Well said. May I interject something here, Ras, just to be real quick?
Yes, sir.
What kick off the beating of Bozra is a very stupid thing. Very, very stupid. There's a group of sisters from the United States. I guess you know about them. They're the alumni from Howard University, all black women, form a very powerful organization. One of them is staying in a compound right now as we speak, and she came with a plan. She wants to donate money to have the water system rectified once and for all in a compound. For the longest time, she asked Richard Curry for a plan, just a plan, just an engineering plan, how much it would cost, the details of what they need to do to get the money to bring water to a compound. She has been asking Richard Curry for this little feasibility study for the longest time. He cannot produce it. So Bozra was going by his business, and he heard them. He saw right there talking to a group of compounders about the plan. So he went over and he inquired, only to find out that she wants to get a little detailed plan of how much it would cost. Guess what, Russ? Bozra already done that 2 or 3 years ago. So he brought it to her and he showed it to her. Here's the plan. Take it. How much the pipe is going to cost, the tank is going to cost. So Richard Curry got a hold of that Bozra is showing her a plan. He was mad, angry. Who dare him telling her what it's going to be?
Yeah.
Only to find out is that if she gets a hold of the engineering plan, all she has to do is to pay the engineering company who's going to do the work. But Mr. Curry doesn't want her to give the engineering company the money. Richard Curry wants to get the money himself so he can take care of the project. And that's where the problem fell apart with him and Bozra from that day. It became personal.
As I see, Richard Curry, and with all respect, your office is not aware of some of the protocol of diplomacy. And I don't know where in your history books, you see where noble people go around and conduct business like this. If your word is not your bond, then you're nothing. I say again, if your word is not your bond, then you are nothing. We're not perfect, but we can reach to the perfection of His Majesty. We have these things at our footstep. It is August 31st. We are calling that International Maroon Day. You know what that is going to signify, Richard Curry and all of the small-minded people who wants to figure more or less that is where the bond make them be a beam of light. You all have to wake up, Sovereignty is not given by paper alone. It is a birthright. It's a portal through your mother you come through. All are we sovereign. So therefore, this sort of approach where we're seeing these distraction, if it's coming from Richard Curry camp, Richard Curry at this time is given the authority to surrender to righteousness. Because if you choose the way that you're going right now, especially at the cost of the life of His Excellency Daniel Z. Bozra, all that you attain will amount to naught, because the people will see the truth and know who started the truth. It is Daniel Z. Bozra who first let the Corporation of Jamaica know that we do not need privileges, but we have rights. Mr. Curry, you're walking around, you and your friends, even Mark Myrie, and none of you have any documents that can identify you as a Nyankopong sovereign person, a sovereign national. Because we don't deal with person. None of you have anything of that cooperative, collective effort to move. I thought some of the things that you would have instigated when you see L.A. Lewis run with the identification, you would have come on board. Even if you don't like what L.A. Lewis, even if they say L.A. Lewis is a madman, from the madman, everybody catch COVID except the mad people them. You never notice that? Only the educated jackass them run go get the injection and now them a walk around like zombies. You know see what go on? The people them don't need people to come impress them. They need people to lead them in moral ways. We know we're fighting a war. We know that the oppressors are putting up roadblocks for us. But our ancestors have broken all those roadblocks. They can't stop us now. It's our time. Be the bigger man, Mr. Richard Curry. Clear your name. Because if you don't clear your name, you don't have a legacy. I mean, no, you're a youth to have pride and ambition and you want to make this move. But playing this game like our oppressors play it against us, you have to go fight again. You'll have to fight again. Mr. Reed, thank you so much for your time. We have to touch again. We don't want the feds them knock on your door or my door, because I don't know.
Well, tell us they're my friends. They're my friends. They've been good to who they need to be good with, and they mean no harm to the Maroons. It's just Richard Curry basically, and that's all they say. And even the Jamaican police officer, the Prime Minister, they don't dislike the Maroons. It's just Richard Curry. That's all it is. But it's a pleasure speaking with you, Russ. It is. It is a pleasure, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One up, Mr. In a Lionheart culture. We shall have.
More love in there, brother. Blessed.
We shall have. Yes, sir. There you have it, Mr. Reed. The first chapter that because we have more to really deal with. But I want to say welcome to one and all to the Grand Rising. The Grand Rising Fire Friday. I tell you what a thing. You know, we are galang. We are galang, it's not pretty.
The most feared internet radio station on planet Earth. The resistant radio station. Fresh Radio Vibes. Fresh Radio Vibes. Fresh Radio Vibes. The most feared internet radio station on planet Earth.
This is a public announcement. A tree without its roots shall die, and a nation without its identity can never prosper. The Nyankopong Sovereign Maroon Global Tribal Nation Territories Partners of the UN ILO Indigenous and Tribal People Convention Law. Have your identification card. Get it now. Your nationality as a maroon sovereign person give you the protection of the laws of the rights that you deserve. Application forms are available now. In the USA, contact Representative Russ Galites at GADIETHZ Galites at gmail.com or call them at 1260-209-8730. Contact the Jamaican head office at 1-876-605-7987 or 1-876-773-4594. Visit our website at nyankipongmaroonsovereignstate.org. Call, sign up now. United we stand with the Nyankipong Maroon Sovereign State. This is powered by Freshradiovybz and the Nyankipong Sovereign State. Now the dream has become.
Oh, yeah. Oh, now we never see, now we never stop. Burning these fires non-stop. Yeah, oh, yeah. Alright. I lead them and let the people down. I'm them holding out to straw with them and drown. I lead them and let the people down. They always make the people very frown. I lead them and let the people down. Them trying to blame it on the dancer and the artist and the sound. We got it to let the people down. Then as they get to use them on the sound. Yo, Babylon not speak them words, but we not love how them sound. That them see them one and turn it in a gun town. No forget to you them turn in a gun clown. Gunshot and tear off them head crown. Well,
Yes, we just got a number for Richard Curry. We're gonna see if Richard Curry gonna answer his phone this morning. And leaders them a let the people down. And leaders them a let the people down.
They always let the people we were found.
And leaders them a let the people down.
Like to blame it on the dancer and the artist and the sound.
And leaders them a let the people down.
Alright then, wow. Promises are comfort to a fool. Babylon I said them a go build more centers and school. I know me there to see a share and big much less a stool, much less a yeah, wanna hear me now? We never say a pencil or a pen, much less a rule. I who them want take for food, they can't fool. I leaders them and let the people down.
Let me just big up the UK. Let me just say Grand Rising to the UK. Grand Rising to the UK. Grand Rising to Canada. Grand Rising to all the Atlantis Islands.
I'm them only like a star with them and drown. We got it to let the people down. Righteousness not
Grand Rising to all my brothers and sisters.
Okay, so you can see from afar. Cause all the perpetrators is war, yeah. They want them a fight to a house and car. Who want the superstar? Where you see them we even sell you out there. Can them a come from far? On a red eye man over him on a car.
Yeah.
Walk one star. Sound it. Hey.
Leaders them a let the people down.
Have them holding at the sky. Why they always let the people we were found?
Leaders them a let the people down.
Have them holding at the sky.
You're locked onto the number one radio station, the Maroon Nation, the Maroon radio station. Take it to the time, man. Take it to the time. You heard Mr. Reed a while ago. Mr. Reed talk about things. Say that he was kidnapped by Richard Curry. Also say that he had $1 million for all of the. Yes, sir. And leaders them I let the people down. Freshradiovybz, the #1 radio station, the official radio station for the Maroon Nation. We're gonna be touching base right now. Let's see what's going on. Whoa, yeah. Lot of them I let the people down.
Still you come and drop yard, yo. What are you should feel the deck, that's why you have to play so hard. Why you have to
yard and broad.
Find out say them a fraud, yo. And me go ask them for them a yard, yeah. That's the far I am a fraud. Burn them a yard and broad. And say, the leaders them a let the people down. Have them holding and to strong with them a jam. Leaders them a let the people down. Why they always let the people will crown? The wicked them a let the people down. Oh, drinking the people blood them a blood down.
Trying to call Richard Curry.
And a check say you joke.
The line is ringing. The line is ringing. Trying to get Richard Curry. We're not getting Richard Curry. Let's just say, okay, couldn't place call. Make sure your device has that sort of connection. As you heard a while ago, Mr. Reed was on. And, you know, we don't want our people to be of the settings where we can't talk to people. We can talk to anybody. It's our time now. We are, Richard Curry declined the call. You know, we need to talk to the man himself. Let me see if I can left a message. Richard Curry, this is Ras Gadites from Freshradiovybz. Answer your call now. Yes, I, one love. Yes, I, as we say, you know, we are, you know. Yes, I. You know, radio station link, you know. Radio station. So we want to chat to the you know, the chief, because we just talked to some people who make some arguments, and you don't know he has been elected to deal with the people. Yes, I want love, you know, maroon power, you know. Yeah, man, the people, the power of the people is more powerful than anyone that is in power. Freshradiovybz, you know. Give you a link, family. All right, see, we send out 2 voice note to the king right there, sir. And we're going to see if he returns the call. I think we have to go over to our ambassadors who are waiting in the wings to really deal with this matter. You heard what Mr. Reed said a while ago. Mr. Reed really bring it to the core. And we have a letter that we're going to read that it was sent out by the council. I think, can we read a piece of it before we get the offices on? We're going to read a piece of this letter. It's good. I think, yes, we have line 1 that is activated. Our engineer is telling us that line 1 is activated. Scottish Maroon is there with us. Wagwan Willie, big up yourself over there. Yes, Scottish Maroon is aware of the development that is going on. As we said, you know, the assault on the office of Daniel Z. Bozra, it is not taken lightly. We just tried to reach out to Richard Curry and we did not get a response. Grand Rising, Scottish Maroon.
Grand Rising, we shall have thee.
We shall have thee. Tell you, how the sun look over your place? It's all right?
Well, a little sun in about it, kind of bleak, because as you know, we've been having rain for the past 3 to 4 days.
Yes. But as we said, we shall have some documents dropped on your desk earlier on, and you had a time to make some searchity and look over it. This morning, the vacating of a Kongpong town notice was issued to Daniel Z. Bozra, and follow that issuing is nursing wounds. We're trying to put the pieces together. What have your Coromantee investigation come up with? How are you feeling about the whole the whole development?
All right. Well, I'm looking at the document that was sent to me, and based upon my scrutiny, I think that Mr. Curry is out of line to be top of give him up and tell himself to leave. Based upon my knowledge, nobody can run nobody from out of place, my brother.
Yeah.
You can use run a man out of place or tell a man to come out when him own it. When Curry did buy the piece of land there, me never know say him have a title with him name on it. Say him is the owner of that piece of property. Richard Curry come there, come say all of the people for them.
Yes. As you heard a while ago, how Richard Curry is dealing with this, I just tried to reach his office, and I hope that he reach out back to us so we can move forward. The gentleman said that every business transaction that is being done is being done via the authority of Richard Curry.
There you go.
But then again, how we look at it now is there's a letterhead here with something at the top. I can't really see good, but it says office letter to what is it again? To Daniel Bozra, and it goes to say the sovereign state of a Kompong and office of the full Maroon Council. Did you get whiff of that before? I've never seen a letterhead of that significance to our government.
You notice the term he used state.
Yes. Estate. Estate. It says state here. So I am to understand, like what Mr. Reed said, that this is operating as a piece of land that they're claiming then, the whole entire Kompong town.
Yeah, so isn't Bozra a Kompong town, so isn't that claim for all the people of a Kompong?
Yeah, but it seems as if he has the authority to say who can live in a Kompong and who can't live in the community.
Well, based upon how I see that doesn't seem like he's respecting the unalienable rights of the living man.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're an indigenous person, you have the right to life, freedom, health, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, Mr. Curry would find himself violating Mr. Bozra unalienable rights. Did Mr. Bozra bring some mercenaries in a Kompong to assassinate anyone?
Not to our knowledge. Not to our knowledge.
There you go. Also, Mr. Curry need to know that as a living man of the land, you have the right to expose knowledge necessary to one's rights and freedom. So if Mr. Bozra is there even voicing his opinion, who is Mr. Curry to tell Mr. Bozra that he cannot have the right to expose knowledge necessary to one's rights and freedom?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is you could you read some excerpts from the letter that the office sent to you this morning, because this letter it's
could you just resend it to this phone? It's my other phone.
Yes.
Can you just resend it to this phone?
I will. I'm going to see if I get our ambassador Michael also, because he was very concerned about this. Before you get the letter, you have an office running right now, and how do you view this assault upon another Maroon office? How do you view this?
Well, this is what you would call treason, because we the Maroons are the Maroon government right? We don't deal with treachery, we don't lie to one another, we don't try to kill each other, we don't steal from one another. So for you to defaming other Maroons and claiming, based upon the letter that I looked at earlier, claiming that Bozra is communicating with people who is trying to
what's the word? There's a peculiar
yes,
word.
Right. I want to all right. There you go. You sent it to me on my phone. I'm going
We have to look at this
it.
letter, because, ladies and gentlemen,
We have to use the right terms, right? That he used, right?
Yes.
Based upon the letter, it says this letter is to notify that you got the full Maroon Council of the Sovereign State of Akompong is very displeased with your constant and unruly and unlawful behavior in Akompong town. After numerous meetings held by members of the full Maroon Council and warning issued to you in both private and public town hall meeting, the full Maroon Council has decided your status in Akompong town to be persona non grata. Unfortunately, you have chosen to adhere to individuals who are attempting a coup of this administration. So I want to know, who is this person he's talking about?
What's the name? I'm waiting on that word that we dig up this morning. Cause
okay, treason against the sovereign state of Akompong shall consist only in levying war against the state or in adhering to our enemies, giving them aid and comfort. Right? Aid and comfort. So that is the term that he used, aid and comfort.
So if he say this is like the United States telling you, so you can't have a Facebook friend over Russia.
There you go. And that more sound like dictatorship thing to me, you know.
No, but continue.
That more sound like dictatorship thing. And as I said, blame Corey, because I can't even call him Colonel or Paramount because I don't see what he's doing for the Maroons. Since Mr. Corey has went to Akompong, only thing I've seen is the Chinese taking over and killing out the Maroons. Have police come there and kill all Maroon on the land and all of these things.
No, so, but we just heard a while ago that from Mr. Reed that the reason why Corey is acquiring land is because Blessed Grand Rising Ambassador. Yeah, I sent the
Grand Rising.
Yeah, the Marine. This is the true Maroon Council. The Emperor is in the wings later. Plus, there's others gonna join us because we are here this morning talking about this notice to vacate Akompong, which is a man that a town is named after name Akompong. The entire Nyankapong sovereign state that is called Jamaica now under the corporation from 1963 is in some form of destructive mood. Why we see His Excellency Daniel Z. Bozra office being assaulted, and it is alleged that Richard Corey is the heart of this assault. Yes, you were finishing up something very important, Scottish Maroon, as far as the importance of this assault upon the office of Daniel Z. Bozra.
Yes, right? Now, as I was saying, is that Mr. Corey has violated Mr. Bozra rights in all manner, in all form, and I think we the Maroons is supposed to sit with that this action of Mr. Corey is never carried out again. Because him could have sent man go to the place to kill the man, broke up the man for a reason. Right?
Yes.
For what reason?
Well, Mr. Reed said that as the letter stated, it stated that Daniel Z. Bozra is becoming too much of an opponent for Mr. Richard Corey, but that is what leadership is about. If he cannot find common grounds with his brothers and sisters, how will he deal with the dragons of the corporation of Jamaica? Andrew is not somebody
Not only that.
Yes, sir.
Not only that. He wrote a letter to the man, giving the man 24 hours. Looking at the letter, and under your unalienable right, you have the right to due process of law with notice and opportunity to defend. He did not give Mr. Bozra any chance to defend himself. He gave him 24 hours to leave. And because he did not heed, him go send man go beat up the man.
But have Richard ever given Andrew Holness 24 hours to vacate the office of the Jamaica Corporation? Have he ever done such? The house slave is going to go to the slave. It's the house slave gonna go to the slave master. Yes.
And tell him to come out of the house when he's saying that he's the Maroons of Jamaica. So he's saying that he's owned by Jamaica.
No, but
right?
I hold that thought, because someone just takes a while ago to ask if Richard Curry have any legal document of sovereignty away from the Corporation of Jamaica. I'm going to get that news. I'm also going to try to get him back. But Ambassador, it seems as if you're eating some curry chicken, because curry chicken seems to be curry chickens.
Right. Nice, man. I tell you what, me here, but I can't
leave the curry out and eating some breadfruit with some other mix up, but
yeah.
Curry,
yeah.
We're not going to put no curry in it this morning.
Oh. But Ambassador, on a serious note, people are asking, I'm hearing Michelle in the choir asking why the Emperor hasn't spoken about this. But the Emperor said this a couple months ago, that Daniel Z. Bozra had to come out and lash out against Curry for a longest while, and it seemed as if...
No, the Paramount is doing some investigation. He doesn't come... when he come fully straight with everything. Remember, there are other issues going on, so he wants to make sure he has all sides of the story. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you heard what Scottish Maroon read from the letter a while ago. Daniel Z. Bozra is being charged for treason. He's conspiring with traitors. Who's a traitor? I want Mr. Curry tell me if I one of the Maroon brother them. Walk one.
That's right. But I like to know what I want myself too.
So it's only Richard Curry. So it's only Richard Curry and Fame Gang alone can identify as Maroon. Hold on, the type of music, man, cause Bongo Cat. It's only Richard Curry alone can identify as Maroon. That them I say?
The first thing.
Where I say? Me we come from Upper Bongo, we run the biggest spiritual platform. How much quart buckle we have bury a banana tree root. Richard Curry, I tell you, say we know hey man, me have to get some Scandi grung,
Richard Curry can tell me, say, where my grandmother, Miss Madge, were born in a Maroon town. Can tell me, say me and a Maroon.
But Richard Curry can issue a letter. Come tell me to come off of my ancestral land, and because I come off of my ancestral land, people can come and beat we and them thing there. And that a go on in a compound.
He's the one that is creating the war. He's the one that is creating the war and the division amongst the Maroons. Right? Why did since Richard Curry come? Maroon are dead, right?
Yeah.
Lana get picked where Maroon up a Chanel town, Maroon up a compound, have grievance, all kind of passa. People is not realizing that it seems as if it's alleged that Richard Curry was sent to help the colonizers to take over the Maroon towns that they couldn't have inhabited during those times. So he was sent, and he's been financed by Mr. George Soros, who is connected to the UA, right? Doing some research thing through UA, right? So they finance him and them fund him, right?
Yeah.
So the people in a compound don't know that this is what is happening. They think that he's there for a change, but it's not for any change. Maroons in a compound, right? It's all trickery.
As I said, I reached out to Richard Curry, Ambassador, the Coromantee office is one of the defense mechanism that we use to defend our sovereignty, and we did not get a response from Richard Curry. We would encourage anyone who have association with Richard Curry to have him reach out to Fresh Radio Vibes. Tell him that we need to find out from his perspective what is the next move that he considered.
Listen, man, Richard Curry think everybody is idiot.
No, man, I don't believe
what was signed, the documents that Richard Curry signed with the government, what was written on the document? Can Richard Curry tell us the fine print, the clauses that were on that document that he signed? Does Richard Curry have a copy of that document that was signed so that we can
gentlemen?
Yes, sir. Yes, Ambassador.
Gentlemen?
Yes, Ambassador.
I think I can get Chief Shepherd,
yes,
the spiritual advisor on the line.
Please, because I was saying I get.
Let me call him, man.
I was saying if I get Julian Garvey, but this has to.
No, he's close.
Okay.
No, you don't want to get Julius in here yet.
Yes.
You have to get somebody on the ground that is close to him.
Yes. This is, and I think Daniel Z. Bozra sent me a number. We're about to airborne that number. We're the Coromantee Warriors is furious about these people. We got that from, I think I want to say big up to Michelle, because she was the one who brought it to us, because we weren't of that concept. When we saw Daniel Z. Bozra last week put out these tapes about his life being threatened and Richard Curry enter into the office space of His Excellency, I thought that it was to have dialogue with His Excellency. But then people, we have the pictures, and I hate to put up these pictures. This picture is not looking good. It is with His Excellency. As you can see, his shoulder has been knocked out. Yes, he's nursing. He has been beaten bad. And if this is what leadership looks like under the maroon government of Richard Curry, that means that he and Andrew and the rest of the slave masters have something in common.
Can I correct you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please
don't use Richard Curry government. Richard Curry doesn't have a government.
Thank you.
Right? There's nothing to show that Richard Curry is lawful government. Nothing at all. Richard Curry doesn't have to the public, which is the Maroons. Richard Curry doesn't have any ID system. Richard Curry doesn't have any nativity paper, right? So Richard Curry is not running a government.
As we say, we have Ambassador, did you get the troops on the ground? Because I'm getting bombarded. I want to say big up to Louis Culture and of course King Shango. We may have to talk to them today. This is causing a ripple effect.
I'm calling him back right now.
Yes, this is causing a ripple effect. Scottish Maroon, you have seen the legal side of it, and as you said a while ago, the jurisdiction under which this letter falls, where
the lawful side of it. The lawful side.
Hold on there, gentlemen.
Yes,
we have High Priest, High Chief Shepherd on the line. Chief Shepherd.
Grand Rising.
We are on the Global Maroon Radio, Freshradiovybz Radio, Freshradiovybz, and we want to talk on the matter of what's going on with Sir Excellent Daniel Z. Bozra on the ground. What is the feedback on the ground, and what is the situation in the development between him and Curry?
All right, what you do? Come back 15 minutes time.
15 minutes time.
15 minutes time.
Yeah, but we're there.
15 minutes.
We're there.
All right.
I didn't interested.
Yes, sir.
That is interested. Come back 15 minutes time.
Yes, sir.
15 minutes. No problem.
We're working. Also, I want to say Grand Rising to Canada right now. Canada is up there in big arms. Also, Scottish Maroon is representing the Canaanites office. I want to say the UK Lady C, they're on. We're also bigging up Panama right now because we have sent out this to majority of our offices globally, and Atlanta, Florida, Big up on yourself, Florida. Big up on yourself. We're going all the way to the continent of Ethiopia, aka Al-Kabalan. Big up on yourself. Yes, over Mexico. Big up on yourself. We are streaming globally. All of the Atlantis Islands, St. Vincent, you know what I mean, and the Grenadines, Antigua and Bermuda. Big up to the place called St. Thomas, USVI. Also the British Virgin Islands. We want to big up the Trinidadians, yes, the Barbadians, all the corporation out there, because our people must be free. We shall be. Ambassador, tell us about the link that we're about to link. Is he in a Kong Pong town? Talk to me.
Okay. This chief is the chief that is dealing. He spends a lot of time updating Corey. He's like a spiritual advisor. You see, there are many remnant left over from the older school coming in, and Chief Shepherd is one of such high priests. You know, the first time he has ever been on a camera was when L.A. Lewis spoke him, because these type of people, they stay behind the scene. So the first time he was ever entered the media space was when Paramount L.A. Lewis took him to the front forum. But he has done a lot of work behind the scene. He's like he wasn't as advanced as Condell, our teacher, but he's like would have been a second in our third in command. Cause the other brother there is very adamant, the one that the Paramount go check every now and again. You know that other elder. Yes, but Chief Shepherd is a part of the priestly council. You understand? Not so much he's a spiritual worker. You understand?
Yes.
He does the workings. Yes. So he knows he has to keep in touch, because Corey had commissioned him at one point, and even now still rely on him for certain insights. So even though just recently he's also looking at the situation, how Corey also kind of deceiving, in the sense of when there was a question asked to Corey from me to Chief Shepherd to ask him if he had spoken to the Prime Minister of the corporation, Andrew Holness, and the Governor General, and he denied it. So I asked Chief Shepherd, how is it that he can be appointed as a colonel under the corporation and did not talk to these people, when it is a tradition that every Maroon from 1962 from the independent has having whether public discussion or private discussion? How is it that he just mysteriously don't have one? So these are the things that came down, and when he found out, it wasn't feeling so good in his stomach as a priest. So he is neutral. He doesn't believe in the foolishness, and that's why he said he's gonna come back in 15 minutes, because he likes the topic, and I guess he was doing some spiritual workings for some other people, because he does the other things them too. So he probably was completing one of these clientele things. So he's coming back in 15.
So
to do the thing.
So he's not a person who is going to be biased against Richard.
No, he's going to tell it as it is.
Yes.
No, he's going to say what he thinks is happening.
Yes.
Based on what he observed.
But Ambassador, I want to add Daniel Z. Bozra to our discussion in a while. I spoke to him this morning, and he himself, although he is feeling excruciating pain, he is still being a diplomat, saying that the vagabonds who attacked him was like, Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they have done. This is where he is at, and he's trying to say that, but the expulsion from someone's home, Ambassador, is that have any legality towards it, whether common law or maritime law?
You're dealing with, that's land. You're referring to the land rights there.
Yes.
So if somebody has their foot in our case, we control both the land and the sea. So if anybody have any jurisdiction over the air that we breathe and everything on this planet, it would be the native Maroons who are into the Atlantic connection, Atlantis project, and ancient heaven. So nobody can just come and tell us we're too close to the shoreline or we're too far inland. You understand? It's not there saying, we're too high in the sky. None of these things. It's just a whole breach.
And what they do,
There should have been a forum.
and that is why I said, right, that Richard Curry violated Bozra right security from abuse, persecution, tyranny, and war. So when Bozra said that he came in private capacity or his office space, right? He violated his right in bring persecution to it. Because you man now for beat up a man, remove him off our place. Right now, you violate him right and him have the right to self-defense when threatened with harm, loss, or deceit. And this is all a part of the unalienable rights that Richard Curry violated as it relates to Bozra rights, right? So this is not something that Richard gonna do and think that it's just going to be and carpet. No, we need to get answers from him, and we're going to.
I am sure. Yeah, but we're going. I
he likes that him own the term name Maroon. He make a sad mistake.
Yeah. I try to reach out to Richard Curry people, and they're sending me a text that they want to know who I am. I said I'm with Freshradiovybz. I send them the link because Richard is not seeing what he's doing. You're given an opportunity to lead Richard Curry, not to beat people. And if you have anything to do with this assault on His Excellency, you know that will not sit pretty with the council. You have just jeopardized.
We the Maroons are here. We the Maroons are here worldwide.
Yes, sir.
Getting acknowledgement of our rights as indigenous sovereign people. And that man is there trying to divide the Maroon nation. Huh?
Yes,
what is wrong with this man? We in Canada, England, Panama, Ethiopia, Ghana, right? St. Lucia, and we're here trying to get the people them to acknowledge us. We the Maroons, we've been here, and some has been taken here in 1769 into Canaan, the land that they call Canada, right? And we're here trying to get the children them in school to learn about them true identity, and him down there I try to make Maroon look like say we are some dirty bungle, I beat up one another and all of that. Come on, Richard Curry, we need some answers, man.
I'm urging. I think this is his sister's phone has been sent to us, and we're trying to add her to the phone call. I know she may be listening. I am saying in good gesture that Richard Curry was elected by 680 people. 680 people. We have the paperwork here at Freshradiovybz because we did support Daniel, and we still support Daniel Z. Bozra as one of the most eloquent representation of our people. Disregard what his faults may be and how small-minded of attributes you may have contributed to him to give him a demise. But I don't think that attacking Daniel Z. Bozra is the way to go, because this is only showing you're doing the oppressor's work. You're actually doing the oppressor's work. Now, the hotel that is owned by Mr. Dennis Foster, that is the residence of Daniel Z. Bozra. We are not going to go into who owns who, because if this was owned by Maroon people, then Maroon people have to get on board and deal with that issue. Who that get on a while ago? See,
hold on, I please. Okay, let me get him back. He was coming on.
Yes, I. So we overstand. Grand Rising.
Yes, I please.
Hello?
Grand Rising, I please.
Grand Rising.
Yeah. If I get you to say, me me love how you're interested. That's why you mean come back more time. I do want to talk more time.
Okay, go ahead.
What you saying?
Answer the question in Rascadite.
Yes, sir. I want to say grand rising to you, you know, and we
rising.
Yeah, we as the government, the Maroon government, we represent the Nyankopong Sovereign Maroon Global Tribunal Nation territories, headed by, you know, Emperor LB L.A. Lewis, and we are getting some disturbing news that Daniel Z. Bozra office has been assaulted and he has been beaten terribly. Can you confirm that?
All right, him don't beat it, him don't get on beating. Let me show something. Me is one of the most honest man in the whole wide world.
Yes, sir.
Me had this one thing. Me is one of the most honest and fearful man in the whole wide world.
Yes, sir.
Him don't get on beating, that's number one.
Yes, sir.
Number two, that guy is a madman.
Who? Which guy?
That guy is a mad man.
Which guy?
Sick. And if you people...
No, hold on. And don't call me you people. I name Rascadites. Don't do that to my listeners. Intelligence run the area.
All right. If Selassie, you want to come and say that man a madman. He don't get unbeaten. And it's a problem like this community.
So you're saying that Daniel Z. Bozra is a madman from your perspective?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I have a picture. I have a picture here showing with his shoulder dislocated. I spoke to Daniel and he said
him jump. Hold on, man.
Yes, sir.
My misbehavior in the community for years.
Yes, sir. When you say misbehave, because Maroon sovereign, you know, Maroon mean wild and untamed. So how are the slave master up there? Because if more know which one of my, so if people can't live free, and we have who make them jurisdiction but who are misbehave, and what is misbehave?
I'm not telling you.
Is he killing anyone?
Hold on.
Yo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, I'm a madman, you know.
Oh, my mother.
I'm a madman. Hold on, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, make him go through all the time. I can speak.
Yes,
sir. I tell the truth and not what the truth.
Yes, sir.
The truth and not what the truth. Just please hear what I have to say to you. For that guy mentally ill.
Yes, sir.
That guy is mentally. I want you to hear. I want you to hear the message clearly. I want you to use your common sense and your message clearly. You must have it. You know the truth and the truth is the truth and the truth is facts. The truth is facts. The truth is the truth. Him in that town, I don't. My first thing, nobody don't like him. Nobody in the world don't like him. Nobody in the world don't like him. He don't get unbeaten, then go out there and then jump to the and whatever team. Nobody will beat him.
So hold on. So him jump out of the window by himself, or people go in the house. What?
By himself, them go in there. And
yeah.
The chief give notice every move by 24 hours.
Hold on. Richard Curry give him notice for move out of Kongpong town by 24 hours.
Right.
Who give Richard Curry that authority?
But Richard, you listen to you, man. From now, you listen to you.
No, hold on, Rasta.
What you you, man?
Yo, Rasta.
You listen to you, man. What's up, man? You listen to you, man.
Yes, sir.
Richard, if me go film you, if I did go film you know.
Yes, sir.
What? It will go like that. You know what me have said to you now.
Yes, sir.
You listen to you?
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying to you? You understand what I'm saying to you? If I did go for him, it will do that. And you have said you attack and I say all that boy thoroughly like this guy and the people. I understand what I'm saying to you. Clearly what me have said to you. You open your eye, your mouth, your nose, your ears, and you have to say clearly. If you don't go for him, you do like that. It means you for years, you ribbit your brain.
Why you would have do? You'd have murder him?
I'll mash up my head to foot. But in the district from and I create a problem in the district. You have to say to you clearly, I want to hear clearly, and no matter what nobody wants to say to you, me know what's going on.
Yeah.
Chief Shepherd, let me ask you a question. This is Ambassador Michael.
Yeah,
I want to ask you a question, Chief Shepherd. Is Daniel intellectual side of him? Because you have people who can be regarded as mad, but they still have their intellectual property. Was his intellectual property respected? Was his information respected in the sense of what he knows about the knowledge of the Maroon? Was that part respected?
Yeah, man. So if
that part was respected, it means that he must be.
But
he must not be approaching that way.
If I go to my boundary, I'm going to go that different reason. I'm going to get to, I'll be like, to be around him, I don't like it. And then you talk, I love and I respect him. I love him and respect him, my body love and respect him. But if you have a and make a kick over, I'm going more sober then, more calmer then.
Please and thank you.
Yes, sir. You talk, I love and respect. But the man that you sent the town, and nobody that town don't like him.
Is he a nuisance in the sense where he's exposing? Is he a nuisance, Chief Shepherd? Is he a nuisance in the sense that he's exposing Chief Curry's weaknesses?
Then I'm going to pet Chief Curry, man. Going to pet Chief Curry on. No one pet Chief Curry.
Because we get in the feedback that is because of him exposing the weaknesses and the sellout activities that Chief Curry is doing, and because Chief Curry himself is still unknowledgeable of what the Maroon lifestyle is.
Well, I get calm now. We're coming to Gloria now.
Because we as a people, as Maroons, we don't need to be fighting each other. Yeah, we don't need to be threatening to do that.
Make work it out. So you know, Chief Curry?
No, I want to speak to Chief Curry because this is nonsense. If somebody is a Maroon who have 284 what a legacy can't be themselves, then all of we are dead then. Because if me come to Jamaica, hold on, let me talk. Because if I reach in a Nyankapong and a guy feel like say them a god and can come disrespect me, a thunder me a go roll.
There's nobody now in this
of course, the minute
I'm taking oneself.
Yeah, but how did you reach? How did it reach a point where Richard Curry can grant notice of vacating a premises? Him is a public servant. The people them vote him to come serve. Bakra Master will run with that. Aki will use a murder that. I want to you. You think that our people?
Hold on, man. Look at the man. If I'm going to tell you, you are going. If I'm defend Chief Curry, I follow Miguel. For him wrong.
Yeah, but I don't defend. It is the principle, Rastaman. It's
all right. Can I ask High Priest? Because High Priest, I hear you talking, you know.
Yes, sir.
And you're speaking on a spiritual level. Do you know that as a Maroon, a sovereign Maroon, an indigenous person of the land, you have something that is called your unalienable rights? Did Mr. Richard Curry respect Mr. Bozra's unalienable rights? That's one question I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, but if you send it on.
In what capacity?
Hold a minute. All right. And don't, under your unalienable rights, you have the right to due process of law with notice and opportunity to defend.
But then again, no, and then I'm going on. I'm again, no, give you straight then. In don't ban and go there, that first thing.
But my brother, this is something again.
Akongpong is a man.
Akongpong is keep on saying that they alone are Maroons. If you knew the history of the Maroons, High Priest, which you should have known.
Of course.
As an Ashanti speaking to you, High Priest. I'm a High Priest from the Kemetic order. Right? I am Elohim Amun-Ra, High Priest, Chief High Priest of the Maroons. And I'm saying to you, if you knew the history of our people, you would not dare say that. He is not
Hold on. So tell me something now. True, in Barango, if he's in Barango, if he's in Barango there, we will sit down and allow him to chill on it all like that.
No, I never said that, High Priest. High Priest, I did not say that. I said that he has the right to due process of law with notice and opportunity to defend. Richard Curry gave him 24 hours, and because he didn't move within the 24 hours, whatever occurred. Whether him jump through window and self-inflict wound onto himself. Yeah, but you must remember there's a word that is called fear, my brother. There's a word that is called fear.
Hold on, the eye, please. You know here what the where the priests were supposed to stand up for righteousness. Say, anyone him did go there. We wouldn't be talking about His Excellency in this capacity. No bumbo clot can't go attack governor out, but you know a bumbo clot attack you fi know yourself in a Gideon. You fi know yourself in a Gideon, King. Idiot energy, you know, keep up down a yard. We are fight one another. And at the same time, we can't love one another. You hear the man say if he had the capacity, he would have harmed the man more.
Let's see what going on now.
This is serious, people. This is serious. Yeah, and Richard Curry is silent in all of this. Yes. Richard Curry is silent in all this.
Because he's here to create the chaos.
So Richard Curry has also corrupted the priestly order of the Maroons also.
Yes, sir.
And this chief separatist is one of the high priests, and he's corrupted him. That means money is playing a serious role here. Material things, people, place, and things is now taking its position on this chessboard, and it doesn't look so right. You understand?
And this is what they want to repeat. The war against the Maroons, where Maroons are warring with their one another.
What I'm not hearing what is it that he's doing wrong. He's just saying he's doing something. You understand? The only thing I see, Daniel spent a lot of time on social media discussing the weaknesses that he finds in his Maroon and also the history of the Maroon and the mystery. So if that is the problem, and he's a madman, he has to be a madman if he's one of the most intellectual. He's gonna be a madman because most Maroons today in their compound mountain, a lot of them did not sacrifice to go to go back to school or self-teach themselves, because with the technology around, a lot of them have cell phones now, and they didn't go on Google to do some research. They didn't do nothing. They just sit there and just don't want to
read. Sorry to interject, Ambassador. Some of them can't even read. They don't set up. Richard Curry been there, don't set up no school system. Right. Nothing like that. The last time I learned, it was the emperor went up there with some computers. Right?
That's right. So they're not even self-teaching themselves. They're not even trying to go back in time to look at the 284 years of their sovereign treaty and all these things that they have. They don't have no time to be creating alliances globally. They just feel like they're going to stay. That's the same mistake the Tibetan monks made in the Himalayas mountain, thinking that they're going to stay up in the Himalayas mountain and all is going to be peace and dandy, and they don't want to travel the world and seek out new wisdom. This is not the day and time for Maroon to be sitting down and not become international and global and universal beings again.
Gentlemen, sorry. I think we have Willie just joined us.
Yes, sir.
Let me just introduce Willie.
Yo, Willie.
Yeah, man. Great things. Boy, may I tell you?
Willie.
Yeah, man. Boy, I'm tell you. Hey, go ahead.
Willie, this is not my vibration from what's going on, Willie, is that Richard Curry is not diplomatic. He's not being diplomatic in the sense where him knows our people have gone through several. Because you see, brother, when I talked to a while ago, I know the peasantry where must start from, you know. And as much as we're supposed to lift our people up, we have to understand them hurt. His hurt is that right now, Richard Curry could have the only one where I give him $100. So he have to loyal. Or he have to have back a certain things. Zine, because our people are bought and sold. And Richard, if you listen to Richard, don't make the program done and don't call me. Anybody who know Richard Curry, who care about Richard Curry, need for call me. Because this is
he did not follow the right protocols.
Him never do it. Him violate.
Never follow the right protocols of the law and order system.
Yo, we have a tape showing Richard Curry inside of the yard, you know. And as how you hear them maroon, yeah, they do not know what sovereignty mean. If sovereignty mean that we have to go to the Jamaica Constabulary Force for protection from each other, that means that we're not sovereign, then we are still subjects. We are subjugated underneath the rules and regulations.
And then here the next thing. The next thing is this. If the brother is even mental, where is the Maroon Mental Hospital? Where is the Maroon Mental Council? Where's the Maroon Mental everything? That has to do with our therapy. Since he's so mental, let us get our professional in this area.
And help the man.
And help the man. Since he saw a problem in that area. He's a madman.
Wow.
Yes.
All right.
These are the things that I'm looking at. The psychology and the sociology, the patterns. You know?
Yeah, Willie, what you saying?
Chance to talk. Give me a chance to say a word now.
Yes, sir.
What's your Willie?
What may I say? You know, Rascadize, you hit the nail on the head a while ago when you're talking to the gentleman. And you say we can't attack the slave master, but we can attack one another, and that has been our legacy. That has been our legacy. We betray each other.
Yes.
We are united. And you see, I see this, my brother. The art of war is to infiltrate. I believe there's an infiltration that is going on at the Maroon, because there's no way you can tell me, say, you want to build a solid respect for the Maroon, and you gonna have man just decide to them out take the law in them hand and decide to them gonna expel a man from a community without giving the man, as Andrew said, due process. That infiltration.
Yo,
so the brother there took pictures of his character, Corey. Because how can you be a good leader and you allow, even if I know you initiate it, but you're supposed to take that into your account and say, no, we not deal with things like this. We are one people. And what is, man?
And Willie, and you know the hurtful part? The man utter him mouth say if him did go for him. When him that do him, you hear them barbaric anger they come out of the man mouth.
Yes. And if they infiltrate and mash up the Maroon thing, and that them a do, and you said them a sign over everything to the government, and wait before you know it, the money of them gone. The same thing what Andrew are doing to Jamaica. Well, I may tell you, I'm sad this morning. I am really sad.
Chief Curry, Willie took a lot of monies to go back to school in the university. So he took it from these Illuminatis, these George Soros and all these Bill Gates. Monies was poured into his study program. They groomed him. They groomed him for the moment. And he was properly tutored, just like how they tutor any president or to get the position. So they tutor him like Obama, and they tutor him for the perfect pawn. So he's just a perfect pawn position on this chessboard. And that's why he's so sociological in this dogma, where he sees the dogma as the only way out. So you can release this dogma.
He might charge the youth for the Bozra for the same trees where he might commit secretly in the dark. So the man is an infiltrator.
The problem, it seems like, is that Bozra is exposing his weakness.
Himself or make a public statement. They may consider this man an infiltrator.
I respect anyone who can come on national media platform. Every day I see Buzzrock on social media. I do not see Curry telling the people. Even the presidents of our prime minister of every country know that every week they have to do a public address. I do not see Curry doing a public address to the world. I see him going behind the scene working like when rats digging trenches. I do not like this rat digging trenches thing. People need to see you on the ground working. He needs to be monitored. Just like any other public servant get monitored. He has to be monitored. You can't be judge, jury, and executioner when you have a team of people working who are genealogy connected and have sovereign rights worldwide, who are Maroon. And he goes into the Maroon working without arming himself with the wisdom of what a Maroon is. So
No
he's looking
knowledge.
at the Maroon as just a compound town. And because he has that mentality, that one-track minded mentality, he cannot wake up from the dogma. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, people, hold that thought, because as we speak, Richard Curry has sent out a tape talking about a compound town being infiltrated. This brother is living like a fear like a pussycat. Yeah, man, if you bust a orange juice box round him in good a run. This brother take up this thing named leadership and figures a leadership is a little pussycat thing where you can. You have to be a lion.
Yeah.
You have to be a lion. Hold on there.
God, you see the same way Justin Trudeau say, I mean, not Justin Trudeau, Clash Rob come out and say, oh, half of the cabinet in Canada, we are training them and we put them there.
Yes.
In the Justin Trudeau cabinet. And the same strategy that I use for infiltrate and destroy and move.
Yes. Stay silent for a bit, people. We're going to play a tape right here from Richard Curry talking.
Peace. I'm making this very important speech to preserve the integrity and safety of members of the Maroon administration, as death threats have been made against both myself and others who are operating lawfully with the fiduciary duties under the 1738 Maroon Treaty. We ask the world to pay attention closely to activities unfolding over the next days, weeks, or months until an amicable resolution has been found with those who are hell-bent on creating chaos in a community that has remained peaceful for hundreds of years. From credible sources, our administration has learned that a compound citizens are under imminent threat of danger by a group of gunmen and agent provocateurs that may attack as early as this week. The imminent threat stems from an issue that I would have reported to the police in August of last year and personally met with members of the Major Organized Crime Task Force, MOCA, in Kingston, as I believe this imminent threat is stemming from that information and data shared with MOCA a year ago. We have yet to receive any response from any of the relevant authorities. Under Maroon constitutional law, pursuant to Article 3, Section 3, read dangerous weapons, I have ordered for signs to be erected stating that individuals carrying firearms will not be allowed to proceed on the Maroon private estate without first making a declaration for permission to be granted by the full council. The great Malcolm X, peace be upon him, once said, a race of people is like an individual man. Until it uses its own talent, uses its pride, takes pride in its own history, expresses its own culture, affirms its own selfhood, it can never fulfill.
Yeah. You're not gonna hear, but our listeners were hearing who were playing this tape from Richard Curry, and it was explaining that anything can happen between now and a couple of days. Richard Curry is gearing us up for something, because if he can go on social media and talk about these things at length, that simply means that he has a script that he's working with. We just talked to someone who this person said out loud a while ago, if it was in their capacity, they would have done even more damage to Daniel Z. Bozra. It is said that Daniel Z. Bozra is a madman. But a madman in what capacity? A madman because he will not adhere to every instruction that is put down by Richard Curry. Richard Curry is not our God. Richard Curry is a public servant. And you're here to serve. So therefore, if you have a disagreement with somebody, it's up to you as a servant to see if you can find some form of resolution. The concern that Daniel Z. Bozra speak about, the normal man in a compound town don't even know sometime how to use certain computer and certain things. So Richard, I use ignorancy against our own people. Because Daniel Z. Bozra is one of the few voices that come out and lay it out and say, hey, something no look right over here, so walk on over there, so. And if that is how Richard Curry tends to govern our people, we don't know which one of them maroon out they feel like say them a hog and goat, you know. and feel like say nobody hey, we don't want no new slave master. We don't want no new person to come beat we. Because we done a fight a revolution. His emperor already go and him get the documents and him say we done with this birth paper thing and we are move forward. Someone who don't want to overstand it. That's why I tell you the emperor is a diplomat. I mean, I want some guy out there feel like say, because we are stretch a olive leaf and I say peace, peace, peace is a joke thing. Because we cannot have you assault one of our office or one of our maroon. And then you feel like say, well, you can do it to every single body. I mean, the business of who are you bucketive. It can be the biggest artist. It can be the biggest crime minister. We not depend that right now. We cannot afford a tribal war. And Richard Curry, if you're listening to us, anybody who know Richard Curry, have him call us because you are the stone of the builder refuse shall become the head cornerstone, you know, Richard. We not there on for no famous thing for nobody like we. I mean, I work for no likes. We do this for the love. We do it for the love. 284 years we have in a Richard Curry. And you have to know, so right now, them things you make we look small. We're up on the international stage, I tell the world, say, we are the only government who are the equal rights and justice. And we're the only government who are the whole thing. But you never come to the fold yet, Richard Curry, and have dialogue. What kind of servant are you? How can we call upon your office and your office refuse to answer? You're scanning everybody. That means that you don't have no moral, no integrity, my lord. That is not leadership for the Maroon. No, man, check your levels. Nani did have Taki and Kodjo. A Kong Pong is a man. And them name the place after it, after the man. So if you are going to claim just one of the bloodline of the Maroon, you're foolish. Because all of us are Maroon. All of us are inhabitants of Nyankapong. You need to come to the council and those people who are around you, because if the high priest there, what we just get a while ago, is one of the people and we're in your cranium rotten. You don't have no substance of intelligence. Yes, sir. Who that? Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Yeah, the way open Willie. Where you say? Where you say? A while ago we have it. Scottish Maroon, you there?
Yes, sir. Me there, man.
Yes,
You see, we're looking at, boy, may I tell you, you see, when people is lacking, the most I say, or the teacher say, I watch my people die every day because of lack of knowledge. And as you said just now, that man representing himself as a high priest, my God Almighty, I wouldn't want to see the people them him a chant for. I can just imagine the level of science he's working. Right? Them people can't see no blessing enough in them life if that the high priest there anoint them. No blessing can do that, so. So you see what we find out now? The devil. Them said the devil either find them way in the church.
I was the one who told him to stop do the blood rituals, sacrifices, and start just using nature sciences. If you want blood sacrifice, use the sap of the tree. You can take a Petri knife and create and use for any fruit tree or any tree and get the sap from it. And you can take fruits. You can take the lignum vitae tree. You can take any tree and the sap from the tree. Because each tree carry liquid in it. You understand? That's the blood we take. We take the blood from the nature source. You understand? And it can be even water. It can also be water from the purified streams that are in the cockpit. Those are the blood. The earth have its own natural blood. You see, a lot of time people, when they see blood, they just refer to human blood or mankind blood, but they're not realizing that plants carry blood streams too, and other things. You understand? So it's what we call nectars. You understand? Or honey. So we use the natural sources to do things. That's why in the schools they teach you the two sides of this thing they call magic or magi.
I don't want to stray into his nasty curriculum of workings, because right now I have nothing in respect for that camp. And with all due respect, next time, my lord, those rotten skull cannot be on our platform. With all due respect.
It's the first time I hear. It's the first time ever.
Interact
the first
with
time I hear him being like that.
No,
That's why I know
because righteousness exalted a nation. We're not here. We are not here to condemn any one of us, but we are here to pick out the immorality that has taken place. You have some little unscrupulous individuals out there that are rejoicing over our downfall in a unique way because they themselves don't even believe in a for themselves. They are dumb to our cause, and we're not here for those dummies. But we find out that...
I wonder...
Yes, sir.
Sorry, High Priest. I'm very sorry. No. I wonder if Chief Curry know that the man have the right to control and hold one's property lawful without trespass. There's so many of one's unalienable rights the man violate, and then this high priest have the nerve to come on and go say, oh, I'm mother, I'm maroon, and I'm him.
Yo, but that's what I'm telling you. Yo, that is the ignorancy of the educated jackasses that is among us. You have people who, because they've achieved a house or a car or them picnic or college, you can't tell them say them is a jackass. Because guess what? There's many jackasses out there. So you don't feel any way being a jackass.
The man said mother maroon and I him.
Yeah.
But hear this now. Here one of the biggest things I observe as so now. If him leave Maroon Town, then who take over my mother house we left there when them drive him out of? Who will control the property then now?
No, as according to them, you know, say we have gotten video, we can play it in a bit to where the chief has seized the building that Ferran Williams and Matthew. Timothy, me really want to get to ask some question to you know. Because Timothy can't hide no more, you know. I want to call Timothy. By the time I call Timothy, he don't answer. Yeah, man, drop him on the line, man. Drop him on the line. Now them sees Timothy and Williams estate where them say it's a bank. And now we are here from another source. Say them a say Mr. Dennis Foster place belong to Maroon because a Maroon money bill it. Me no overstand this, you know, because this is the trick we are going, you know. Them say which part you have too much thief, too much wolves. Cause thief no loves the thief with long bag. Willie, what kind of gospel that you're playing? Playing at the background, King.
Oh, sorry, boss. Sorry. I never realized
You always want to take Maroon business to God, you know. But anyway, what me I say is this thing here stem from bad mind. A bad mind is a stem from cause for somebody say you're a troublemaker in a town and you know get up and rob nobody. You know what I mean? One and two people.
And that's why I ask the man, is Mr. Bozra up there killing anyone?
Yes.
Is he violating any common law? Is he violating any Amirabai law?
No, but
I wonder if this high priest even know what is the Amirabai law.
No, but
is he violating any of these rights?
I want to ask Richard Curry if he has any documentation as far as identification other than his Jamaica slave paper. I want to ask him because for him as a servant, as a citizen or a subject of the Jamaican crown issued this year letter, him created high treason upon himself against a sovereign entity. Daniel Z. Bozra is a sovereign entity. People, we're not seeing how serious this is, you know. This may look small, but this is what they do. This is like the FBI running up on Donald Trump property and telling him of Ray. If we give Richard Curry this authority, who next him out of town?
You're how stupid this look. Some of the prominent leaders in Jamaica went to school with Daniel Bozra, including even the commissioner of police and all these people. Right? You want to tell me nowhere since this madman, you want to tell me somebody didn't do a case study of what this madman is doing and put it and say, okay, we see where this part of him is good and we see where this part of him is a nuisance. But nobody can tell you what is their nuisance part, because I can only see the part where Daniel is talking on the thing. I understand that people have their ups and downs in business. He might have done some business with some people and the business didn't come out well, but that doesn't stop his intellectuality. His intellectual side is his intellectual side. If he outsmart you with his intellectual side, I can understand. But if you're going to say that the man intellect is not working for him and the community at large, no.
I spoke to Mr. Reed this morning, and Mr. Reed, who I am not going to vouch for Mr. Reed, but Mr. Reed came off to say that there was certain dealings as far as the water plant, but Bozra is asking some question because it's only natural. There's opportunity arising. Richard Curry has been on the Forbes richest list. We don't know how him reach on it. We all hear about George Soros. We're hearing about all kind of backdoor deal. Mr. Reed said he was going to issue $1 million per community. We don't know who's sending out this money. But we are simply saying that the Maroon not begging nobody nothing. Me personally as a Maroon, as a part of this government, what I learn from His Excellency is that we not beg nobody nothing. Only when he's a slave you beg. Me not even beg if you get no ID. If you talk too hard to me about spending money about ID, me cut you off. Me just not talk to you about it. Me just not talk to you again, because I find out so you want careless, nasty nigga. So me not have no time for you again. Because if you not important to you, me not take you serious. And here we have an opportunity.
That's right.
Yo, me have an opportunity right now where we are growing in such great way. But as the emperor said, the reason why Richard Curry don't reach over Freshradiovybz is because him cannot come in at the fire. Him know say him can't come over here come fool a little girl like when him do on YouTube and tell her about how much him ancestors this. You don't know nothing about your 284 Richard Curry.
Rascalite, see if you can call his number again. Patch him into this line. Curry.
Yo, let me see if I get him, because as I said.
Meanwhile, you do so, brothers.
Yes, sir.
Let me show you a big contradiction that the high priest came up and said. First, he said that nobody not love him up there. Nobody not like him up there. And then when you asked him a question as it relates to his intellectual capacity as it relates to being an intellectual person, him say, yeah, man, everybody love him up here. Right? Everybody love up here till but he met the people them get creative. So come on. Nobody first you say nobody not like him up there. And then you come back round now and say, yeah, everybody love him up there. That is a big contradiction.
Don't you
poison them, poison water. Poison them, poison the water.
You see the 15 minutes that himself make you call him back. He was tutored. Someone tell him, say for come on, come say what him for say.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And when him come and buck up, realize him come in a council fire, him readdress himself. Right? Because he run out of script. There was no more in his script. So he did have to humble himself and come down. Right? But when Ras now said to him, say, only can take up on himself for go attack one of our own, but on another attack the slave masters, right? This is when now get back irritated because him realize him lose. Same have to back out and run, right? Because him buck up in the fire, right? But Chief Curry, we need to talk to you, brother. We need to know what is your agenda.
We just
see right now the Maroons and international want to know if we safe with the Maroons and with the pan 9 pound.
Yes.
In our compound. Yes. We want to know if we are safe. Because it seems like after a while he's gonna start doing it international. Because if he's doing it locally, it's just a matter of time before hitmen start jumping on flights, sorting out people who say they are Maroons and start taking them out. So we're not waiting until it reaches to that far. We're going to stop it right now before it gets to no international espionage. We're not going into no international espionage with no Maroon hitmen. So we need him on the line right now.
Richard
And
Curry,
he's gonna
he's
gonna talk.
he's not
Today's
picking up.
judgment
Yes,
day.
because
We need to know.
my brothers, I want to listen to me that message is sent out on YouTube.
Yes.
He said that he's trying to contact international bodies, as if he's trying to say that international countries may have people acting as Maroons who are not Maroons. So we want to get it clear.
John Star. Star.
That's what he's doing.
He
That's
know
what he's doing.
you know. So,
International espionage. He's starting out that espionage thing to start let Interpol and all these other entities start looking at, there's 2 sets of Maroons out there? Okay. Let us start a program get a program started to investigate who are the fake ones and who are the real ones. Yeah, that's the foolishness he wants to start. That's stupidness. That's madness.
You heard what Mr. Reed said. When I talked to Mr. Reed this morning, Mr. Reed said that because his daughter was fond of Richard Curry, and this is what we must understand, Richard Curry, you have to understand, as a man, woman are always fond of you. But if you no roll with the lion pack, you can't get no ratings around you, so you no charge it. I tell you that you no charge it. Because when the real defense come on the battlefield, the woman them can do that much. Yes. But you are a young individual, and this weight that is on your shoulder, it takes all of us to bring this to the winning post, Richard. And if you even come over here, send down the disguise by the oppressors for oppress your people, Richard, we know you. The ancestors them give we vision and sight beyond sight where me not for their yard for appear a yard, king. Cause this is not no simple thing. Wanna see where I do this. I never asked for this. Nobody never vote me in for this. Me know myself. My granny tell me say, you are Maroon. You have sovereign rights.
Paramount.
You have indigenous rights.
Paramount.
Yes, I. One love.
That's God.
Paramount
is online.
Emperor. Grand Rising Emperor.
Grand Rising Emperor.
We shall have it. Emperor, it seems as if Ferran William left back one of the copy about beating other slaves and Richard Curry find it. Because we say I beat people, but I don't know. The Rasta just say a while ago say Daniel jump over the fence and hurt himself. Yes.
Yeah.
Excellency is not a joking thing, but you have always come out and said that the trust issue with Richard Curry has always been a concern for you. Does this ferment your thoughts and your belief that he is truly not ready to lead our people in a collective manner?
Well, on a fundamental level, Matella already said to be a chief by ancient order of any village, you have to can at least show the people them that you're there for them and not yourself. And you have to also have spiritual value. You understand? And you have to can be able to take care of an animal or you want a sibling. Curry have no animal, have no sibling, and Curry is not there for the people. If you notice, like yourself and all the chief them are there, God Michael, Canadian chief priest, you all are fighting for the people. As of from day one, Curry has been fighting for the land. So there's a difference between fighting for the land and fighting for the people. So I will always go with the man who fight for the people them, or the woman. Mm-hmm. Now, I've predicted Bozra said Curry them are going to broke him up and them are going to do him whole heap of things because them plan for him, because me read the crystal ball. I've told him publicly and I've told him in front of you several times.
Yes, sir.
But him laugh and said nothing like that. I have never make a prediction what don't come true for years now. You understand? So with Bozra now, I've read a certain documents. Curry, Bozra born in a compound. Is I'm yard and born growing him near string cut there. And Curry when a born in a compound now, he's gotta tell His Excellency Bozra said him is a victim in. Me never know say Curry house Bozra live in a. Me never know say Bozra did pay rent. But not even out of him house where evict him. The man is evicting him, evicting Bozra out of a compound maroon area, otherwise known as Lookout Mountain. That means that now, Curry can evict now every last people out of the land. So Curry said the land a fee one, and him running off him land. That is the only way I know a man can take care and say, come off from my land, and my land. But I already tell him the thing what Curry is doing in court. But I remember the lawyer who is on the case now, who is Charles Ganga Singh, is my personal friend and was one of my, and is still one of my legal hand.
Yes.
With Nana Harris Barrington, you understand, and several more. A Ganga minister of a Babs Grange the other day. You understand?
Yes.
Till KD night after beg fair. To big up His Excellency KD night. So now, when you know you got broke up a man, run him off of the land, run him out of him house and tell him say he's no longer needed. Now that look like some slave master thing. But then again, when a man starts par with Jad Saros, remember I told you said before the year did go done, people get gunshot up our compound. You remember me telling you?
Yes, sir.
And remember I said 6th of January, exactly 6 o'clock, 6 people get shot and 3 of them dead. And Curry come on POJ TV and said it was the best show ever. Everything went in that schedule. And Judge Saros himself personally was at the January 6th slaughteration up at a compound. And then a Curry bodyguard, our so-called police friend, shoot the people them exactly 6 o'clock, 6 people dead. 6 people get shot, but 3 dead. And nothing happened. And Curry have this hypnotizing backboard behind him where we hypnotize the people them everywhere him go. And none of us still not see say Curry is one of the demons sent from Judge Saros hell. And if you look now upon the notification paper, I don't know about the Canadian chief or yourself or my other compatriot who's at the top there, but Chief Michael can tell us said that is a big Illuminati sign that Curry has as him seal with the pyramid. The Grand Ritual, all right. I remember I was a Freemason from about 14 years now, and I have my number for prove it. I still have my Grand Star ring for prove it. You understand? I have all of my pushmates, I have my apron and everything for prove it. So, when you say you take up maroon business now, which is a sovereign business, you can't still in a Western Freemason. You have to just know say you was a member of it. But things I used to do, I do no more. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Curry having Freemason still. I used to do comedian joke and I used to do one bag of thing, but I have to put them in thing when I take up the almighty job to be a sovereign. And if you notice, the heading is all in capital. So if you're gonna say you're a sovereign and you give a man a notice in all capital, come on, my people. When you never smell roses. Now Curry go back a court now, say he may claim the whole of the land for himself.
Yes.
And the people up a compound, up a Lookout Mountain, remember, it not really name a compound, you know. Is The local warrior from out of St. Thomas, when they go up a Scotsall, and Nanny them, they win the war at Stony Hill, and Nanny send a compound, General compound, down at St. Elizabeth, to go help the people down at Chinel Maroon Village. Because remember, you know, up where his name a compound wasn't a war ground, it was a residential area. And down a place named Chinel Maroon Village, the real war there. And then the colonial government moved the gate from Chinel and go put way up the road to last the people them. So, my brothers and kings, what else shall the emperor predict for us to say everything real? Curry is creating treason at the highest order. And when you go beat up a man like Bozra now, who is a high part of the Maroon Society, and a man who's a scholar, who's a professor, who's a teacher, a man who is leading the people to the right generation. And I read the letter that you sent on my desk, and as well as several more people sent it, but you know you always send them first. The letter state that, my brother, my high priest.
Yes, sir.
That as long as the election no call, nobody can opposition Curry, or if him for do any shagri, nobody can say nothing till the election call. So I would have said that is more than communism. That is terrorism. No man can chat against you. No man can tell us you do wrong. I am the emperor. And any day a man can, I beg the people to tell me when they do wrongness.
But as you say a while ago, you're the emperor, and this thing that Richard Curry, this letter that he sent, I'm about to send it out to the massive. This is a blatant this is like some dictatorship now, where you live on your land, and Richard Curry, that has been elected by 680 votes, has encouraged some people to come at you. Emperor, do you think that he will stop at just this one assault, or you think he's foolish enough to think that this is accepted by us, the people?
Well, let's go about it this way.
Yes, sir.
When I was studying political science, although I don't finish it 100% yet, silent means consent.
Yes, sir.
Remember, when him beat up the little boy and stab up the little boy and cut up the little boy, remember him bring a outer road high court judge up there and try the case, which that again was another violation of Maroon sovereignty. You understand? He brought a high court judge up there and then give the youth $100,000, and the youth have to shut him out and then said, man, go where you call it now? Terrorize the youth. That's the youth can't say nothing now. Remember again, when the nether youth buck him and I bridge them Kendrick in a compromising position, and the youth say, I'm going to talk, Curry send for the little boy and carry him down a Black River police station and pay $20,000 to fling the youth in a jail. I remember me have to take my Maroon ID and go bail the little boy out of jail, and Curry left the youth there for 3 months straight. Till I me have to buy about 30,000 out of grocery and go give the little boy and him come padre them for gain back the little boy respect in a lockup as a Maroon. So, nobody said nothing about it until now, and countless amount of people are Curry backs up there. And why Curry needs so much gun? So people, silent.
Emperor, may I ask you something, Emperor? I know you wasn't on the program at the time, but a question was asked to the so-called high priest, right? And the so-called high priest state out of mouth, say Bozra should have lucky saying him go for him because him even say him run down Bozra in the square with shotgun already.
Shepherd matter.
Wow.
Shepherd.
He said it. I was listening to him. Him say him run him down already.
No.
So you see the high priest, them that up there supposed to preach righteousness and teach righteousness. The man don't even know his history. And he's a high priest.
Well, if you're a high priest, you know, you're supposed to can do at least 4 wizardry or 3 wizardry, and you're supposed to can take spirit out of people. So some people that take up this word name high priest. High priest in a modern time days what I call science man. In the days of King Sanger and David and King Solomon, that's what a high priest means. The last time me and my good friend Chief Michael checked the studies, and even yourself. So some people use the word high priest to use loosely.
Yes, sir.
You understand? So what happened now, my people? A wickedness. Because you can't beat up a man and run him out of his house. And I tell you, said Richard Curry Chicken is going on with slackness. I don't really know why, but touch back the story.
Yes, sir.
But remember, I am the empress of people that fling things at my desk. Curry is going on with too much slackness. The last time Curry get too much gun from George Soros, I want to go war the Jamaican police force. And I try to get the Bobo them and the Marcus Garvey heights them for do it. See, God heights, no media for put a stop into it.
Yes, sir. Yes, Emperor.
Because the plan is now, you know. It's the George Soros plan. Curry now make it look like he may defend the people them, pull off 2 gun pan 2 local man, hype up the youth them, and when the youth them go pop off gun now, then now Curry disappear and the Jamaican Defense Force and all of the militia them go up there and kill off the whole of the youth them, and then Curry return back as a peace treaty. And many more souls gone. So when the people them gonna wake up, because remember you know, when the people them call, the emperor will arise. So it's the people them have to call. And then I will go up there. I'm going to do what I have to do. But if the people them is up there and comfortable underneath slavery, what should I do?
You have to return. And he made a speech. That is Mr. Curry. Because I can't call him a chief or a paramount. He's not playing the role in that. He's not in that capacity.
Violate him office, cut it out. Yeah.
He's been violated his office. So
Yes.
he get back the title, Mr.
Yeah.
Right? Now, he made a speech on a YouTube video that people must look out in the next couple of weeks. They will see a compound being attacked. Is he trying to preempt something that he's planning, as what you said? Create war in a compound to then sign a treaty?
Yes, because if you attack a prominent person like Daniel Z. Bozra, where you yourself know that Daniel Z. Bozra have certain connections, you're actually throwing fuel to the fire, and then now this good thing that's how I tell the emperor is light years ahead of them. Richard Curry, you need to come and talk, because this only make people like Buju Banton who are stand up on you. You're not making the people who stand up on you look like them really love the people. Cause if me not tell me your Buju come out and say something about this, me definitely know say yo, we're smarter than this, you know, man. We are much more diplomatic than this, you know, king. And as how me see it, as some little smalls benefit and spoil, kind of real money not even a pop off yet. And you are bringing this nastiness to the Maroon government, where to the Maroon community, because he is not a government, as we have rightly said. You know, you're defending a Kongpong town, and a Kongpong town is a place of a man. That is where the blood treaty was that's where it take place. But the whole of Nyanka Pong belong to us. You're making us look small and stupid, Mr. Richard Curry, when you get up and defend one community. And the other communities out there, you need to go there. You are Richard Curry, one of the youngest chief out there, you know. You don't know nothing about this. And you just run and make some people and make this thing look. Even if Daniel Z. Bozra was not beaten, what man are doing upon him in premises? Yo, this is the height of violation. When you go in a man house, a man have all right to deal with you anyhow him feel like. And if this is the president where you as a young chief or colonel is going to embrace, my lad, the pen is more mightier than the sword. You issue a letter to Daniel Z. Bozra. Bozra is willing to take it to the council. And not just your kangaroo council, but the real council where deal with our inevitable rights. You make an action, you deliver the letter, you give a man 24 hours, which you don't have rights to give nobody no 24 hours. You can't give no maroon 24 hours. What kind of cowboy movie you watch, Chargy? The last time Pharrell Williams get up and talk about him Katana and the Emperor, and Pharrell have to come back and beg and say, me never know what mean that say, you know, cause rare, cause it cause an uproar. Pharrell have to turn over the seat and run out because the people themselves we don't need you. And now you get this great opportunity and you fuck it up, Richard Curry. You muck it up.
No, one must remember, you know, that is the Emperor assist Curry to get him seat, because Ferran at the time did violate, and I tell Ferran say he will never or will not spend 3 more months in the seat, and I live up to my promise. We get the Chinel Maroon them, remember not? Chinel Maroon has never yet voted for nobody up our compound in the history. And I got it, even Chinel Maroon them for vote for putting Curry. So I never 600 people from up our compound voted Curry, out of a couple thousands of people. So, and the first thing Curry though was burn down the Maroon flag that the Chinel Maroon them go down in place and fire gunshot in the Chinel Maroon sign with the Queen face on it, Nanny face on it, and the ancestors. And a war did not start. Until now, a war still can't start. But I told the people down at Chinel, said, listen me, let bygones be bygones, because we all know that Curry is working for George Soros. And one must remember and check out who is George Soros. Remember, the Lumi money that we have here, Curry and Andrew Holness was the first 2 men in the whole entire world that rise up against the Lumi and him anti-war in New York on behalf of George Soros. I remember Queen of Sheba, the 2nd or the 3rd, also backed the Lumi. And Curry try every tricks in the book to kill the Lumi. So how much more sins Curry have to do against you, the Maroon people, before you call for help? Because I'm going to have to say, Emperor, help we need to get out this man. And in less than a day, without 1 gunshot fire, it will be done. You understand?
Yeah.
They say me tell Andrew Holness that judgment to reach him. They say me tell him say 3 politicians are dead before the year done. I say 3 of them dead. How much more thing I have to predict? I may tell Andrew Holness say the look at Chikwa him and Curry look at Curry and Andrew Holness is not no enemy. The 2 of them is working giant to giant for George Soros. Them just lego over couple $1 billion up a university of the West Indies on behalf of the Maroon. And when I was studying entrepreneurship and business development up at the UA, I have never seen a Maroon class up there. So when Curry now and Andrew Wellness and one and two more people collect how much billions of dollars from George Soros to push the same-sex agenda, as well as one and two more things on behalf of Maroon, people ask where that much $30 billion gone and who get it, because the emperor, I am the head of the Maroon global territories. Gadites is a high priest, the Canadian high priest, as well as Chief Michael, and several more of us, and we don't know about those money. So what Curry and Andrew want to do the money there. And remember, Ferran did get the $50 million deal. And when I took out Ferran and put in Curry, the money go over now to Curry.
Yes, sir.
Remember, I've sent the letter to your His Excellency Chief Gadites. I don't know.
We have it somewhere in our archives. We make sure it's saved.
You're 100% correct, Emperor.
Yes, sir.
You're so 100% correct. I remember that document, Emperor.
Yes, sir.
And since that document, you find that Curry reach on the Forbes list. I want to know how he reach on the Forbes list.
Yes.
Because Forbes list is controlled by George Soros and the other big company what come down, not come do the documentary with him. So, but different from that now, the Jamaica Foreign Affairs Minister put it out there and even put out the letter that you congratulate His Excellency Colonel Curry for a job well done by getting 10 million US up front. And you see one time him go up for the Jamaica House and go sign to it. And when we put out that picture there, and I sent it the letter to Gadites desk, for sure said Curry collect over about 10 million US at the time for the project. And when the Chinese do the backside. So when Curry tell us said him a fight for backside, I lie him a tell. Him just do I illusion make it look like him and Andrew Wellness a war when the two of them is sparring. And the backside company is controlled by Andrew Wellness, and part of it is controlled by Curry with the Chinese them. Then the $10 million when get up front in the US, after a couple of years time, you go here say the money I forgot pay back to the Chinese, I'm gonna see some land. That's why they cut up the land them up our compound. And the people
man them said
up there.
The man them said name estate now, it don't name is a estate him a run. So an estate is owned by one master, and this master have servants on the estate. So all of our people in a compound town has now become subject under Richard Curry and servant to Richard Curry.
And anybody who doesn't adhere to his
beaten.
rules and his regulation, they get beaten and
just came to my desk.
Yes,
it just came, Ambassador Michael here. It just came to my desk that Curry is an economical
and anybody who
called an assassin. They are trained in the Department of Finance and Politics so that he can come and attack the people from the financial area of economics. So he's a financial assassin, and they trained him for years. He has a silent training, a federal training. A lot of Jamaicans don't know this, and it just come to my desk a little while ago. So a lot of things. He's trying to get an espionage program started where to get the other alphabet gangs to get involved, like Interpol, to start looking at who is fake Maroon versus who is not Maroons, to start creating international affairs, to go and attack Maroons who are international or global. You know,
and my brother, the spirit just talked to me from the fourth dimension. So was it in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. I am the Alpha and I am the Omega. A compound Maroons of the past were the ones who went out and captured the Ashanti Maroons.
Wow.
And they're using the same method then. They're using Curry as the tool to try to capture we the Maroons in this time and this age.
But isn't Sorry, before you come in, Willie, we are, our desk is showing something that the Corries have something to do with the capture of Paul Bogle. I've always seen this on our desk, you know. I need to
the
to
Corrie family is
dissect.
well known in those things.
Yes, I hear that Paul Bogle, a reward was offered, and the Corries are the one who brought in Paul Bogle. I don't know how verification.
Yeah, you see what Andrew just said? You see what Andrew just said?
Yes.
There's a thing called, and I would want you men to read upon it or even watch it on YouTube. It's called the economic hitman, and you will understand how the step-by-step process that they use to infiltrate, to assassinate, to destroy, and pollute, and this is how they go about taking over a territory. So before you know it, those people will be disenfranchised right up there in a compound town under Corrie. This guy is not genuine. He is an infiltrator. Even if he's born and grow there, everybody have a price like Judas, and he's selling out the people. And before you know it, you watch what is going to happen. The destruction of the Coptic and whatever they're doing is going to take place under this guy. If it is not, if you don't put an end to it, just watch and see. Go and check the economic hitman. That way I can see it written all over this what is happening right now.
Yes, I. Yo, people, we have whole heap of work to do. I just got something from the Karamanti warriors. They say that they themselves are trying to, work within the perimeters. We spoke to Daniel Z. Bozra. He is okay, and we ask that all our brothers and sisters who are calling us, give him a link to, and as you heard a while ago, the sentiments that is shared by this high priest is that nobody likes Daniel Z. Bozra. Let us show the critics that we not only like Daniel Z. Bozra, let us show that we stand united with our brothers and sisters over there. They are not perfect, and for some of the hypocrite over there, we are going like say no shit can make party. We know do more shit than Bozra, because some of the stupid no rascal in this Gideon here. I want to swear to God that you don't have materialistic wealth. It make you no smarty. You no smarty. You no below the status, a peasant. His Excellency have earned the right to exist among us. Because guess what? When a lot of us know the right and never want to talk, him talk. Of course, I no perfect. Emperor no perfect. Ambassador no perfect. Scottish Maroon no perfect. But it's a show us the perfect one and try to emulate it. We look around, and that's why we like the likes of Marcus Messiah Garvey, because him is perfect in our eyes, even though the invalid them and the vagabonds they may not see him as the perfect man. His Imperial Majesty, another cornerstone. Nanny, another cornerstone. And we as this generation with this Excellency Daniel Z. Bozra, His Excellency, the Emperor, and several of right here, we are aiming for perfection. Stop brutalize our people because you have no confidence in the race of life. You don't have to assault us to prove to the slave master. Yeah, you don't have to beat up on our one another to prove to the slave master who should get food and who not get food. Come out of them slave mentality, them man. It hurt me because it could have been one of us. But as I said, it's either we go and become martyrs or you go and let us be, because nothing can stop the progress of the Maroon. Nothing or no one. The power of the people is more powerful than any organization, any institution, any body out there. Not powerful than the people. Excellency, we have to wrap it up, so I'll give the platform 2 minutes to each one of you so you can reach out to the intellectual minds of our community, because this is not a simple task. I'll start with Emperor. If you want to start, you can start it off or you can finish it. Any one of you can do that.
Well, what I have to say now?
Yes, I.
The people in know say when them here say Maroon sell out Jamaicans. Maroon never sell out Jamaicans. Maroon sell out Maroon.
Yes, sir.
Every last member of people you call on this piece of land, Atlantis, ex-America, where you call Jamaican, is a maroon. Maroon is the color of one skin. Even the same Korea for come say it the other day. But remember, the Empress said it first. No. Remember, Paul Bogle was born in 1885. Paul Bogle was born on August the 7th. You understand? And when Paul Bogle was killed, if I remember serve me right, I think 1865 them killed Paul Bogle. But them killed my uncle first, granduncle, that was Chief Tufton, that was Carl Lewis up at the Church of St. Thomas. And at the same maroon them from up our compound, Charlestown and Motown, linked together. And go down there and go kill Carl Lewis and the 70 maroon in the church. Until now the church still down there, they call it Bloody Friday. Ask anyone in St. Thomas. And it was the same Curry, George Curry, that called my uncle. At the time my uncle was one of the biggest chief and also a warrior man at the time, spiritual man down there. And he was the one who was backing Paul Bogle. I remember when Paul Bogle go up and come and say, yo, you can't send some man for come help me because the queen now will up her end of the bargain for give you the money. You come from Maroon them run him. So him go back to St. Thomas now and go check for me. Granduncle Carl Lewis, ask anybody about Carl Lewis and the 70 Maroon. And when time George Curry and Fim look up, friend them, call Lewis and the 70 Maroon them in the church. And walk out and say him gonna piss. The Colonian, them circle the church at the time. And start fire PM pellet gun. Them turn a one part them call him pellet gun. And kill Carl Lewis. And then after that now, in the year, I remember serving right, October the 21st, the 24th, 1862. Then them go for Paul Bogle and go kill Paul Bogle. And then them go kill George William Garden after. Said George William Garden, a textile with Paul Bogle. Paul Bogle wasn't a slave. Paul Bogle was a priest and George William Garden was a liar. And the two of them linked together. So nobody believes a maroon thing or some poor boy thing. You understand? And then they talk about treaty. Remember said Nanny sign a timeout. Not a treaty, not a timeout. You understand? Because the Esquire who came from Germany. You understand? Otherwise known as a Custos. And that was in 1733. And the records are dead Nanny dead in 1733. What is a timeout Nanny did sign? You can't go check back history because nothing you know, them hide history from you know. And Nanny was the queen of Atlantis. Worship everything. And see that? So me and Chief Michael is also bloodline because we are cousin. Because him and Nanny are family too. You understand? So 2 cousins there. You understand? So even Panama, Cayman, and we want Cayman. Cayman stop spend Jamaica money, I think in the early 70s. You understand? When no normal man like Buster man to turn it over back to the British them. Give it away back, free of cost, without collect dollar. So people who don't have to know them thing here.
Yes, sir.
The 4 maroon village, what them always use anytime any uprising go on. Anytime any maroon like yourself, Gadites our Chief Michael, our Scottish Canadian High Chief. Them always send Scotsall a compound and the same Motown maroon there, them 4 town there. Remember, when them kill Three Finger Jack and Nanny sister when him Nanny little sister when him Three Finger Nanny, you understand? A quash them send from Scottsall with the Accompong and the Charlestown Maroon them go out of Drunker Mountain because Chief Finger Jack was a pirate and he have a whole heap of warship and one bag of thing. Chief Finger Jack was rich. So them send and them couldn't control or defeat him. So them have to send the same curry them there from up our compound. And I saw now Quasha now juke Chief Finger Jack with the knife and outnumber cause them gang up with the slave masters them, the colonial them. With whole heap of musket gun. So Chief Finger Jack was outnumbered by one of people them. You understand?
Yes,
so
sir.
people remember history. Aquashi killed Chief Finger Jack and killed Nanny's sister. You understand? With the Scottsall and the Motown and the Accompong Maroon them gang up. And remember, in the Morant Bay Rebellion, it was Accompong, Scottsall, Charlestown Maroon them. Fella, remember, because when the Morant Bay Rebellion started, and that was the first time them turned Maroon in the police. But me now go there, so.
Yes, sir.
When the car Cajun, them never Paul Bogle alone them go for, and the tool command them, And when the car Cajun, aka white man them, see us Scottsall Maroon them and Motown Maroon them, start kill off the Junker Mountain Maroon them. Even themselves was frightened and start tremble and I wonder if they go dead too. Because remember, them just go up there for collect Paul Bogle and the couple about 5 or 10 men with Paul Bogle and then they go collect William Garden. And when Scottsall Maroon them start kill off the Junker Mountain Maroon about a St. Thomas, about 2,000 Maroon the man them kill off. Maroon they kill Maroon. So people remember I was kin with Maroon by, not a tribe. But the Caucasian them always buy out the licky Maroon them.
Yeah, man, you want them. Yeah, you have some Maroon. Out the way. May I tell you, them think less of themselves to look bad. But may I tell you, when we say that this is, we just get another link a while ago, and I don't want to hold on too long to this because I want to get some result, and I'm getting some calls and some texts where we're going to have to take them off here because it is very serious. It's very, very serious. And Emperor, I share all respect with the panel and everything, but I think this is one of the cloudy day for the intelligence of our people. We have too much great things doing right now. You yourself, Emperor, I don't even want you have to look at this, but Andre taking it up, other bloggers, Dr. Love, all of them taking this up, because I'm telling you that this is what Richard Curry wanted. Now he's going to become known, and not for the good reasons. Not for good reasons. I'll have to leave it there, Willie, Emperor, Scottish Maroon, and of course Ambassador Michael.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. All hail. We shall have thee. All hail. We shall have thee. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is where we're going. This is where we're going to jump off of the ship for now, and try to get better understanding as what's going on. I love you, my brothers. I love you, my sisters. Most important to the Almighty God that created heaven and earth, love you even more. If you cannot be good, be careful, people, because this is serious times, and we don't take this lightly. Getting out a call, but hold that thought for me, and let us get some things sorted out. Yes, sir.
Them a let the people down. Have them holding on to swallowing them a drown. And the leaders them a let the people down. They always let the people wear a frown. And the leaders them a let the people down. Them trying to blame it on the dancehall and the artists and the sound. We got it to let the people down. Then ask the get to use them on my sound. Yo, Babylon a speak them words, but we no love how them sound. That them see them wanna turn it in a gun town. No forget to use them turn in a gun clown. Gunshot a tear off them head ground. Well, every other day and next body them found. Well, in and them own a blood, missy said them drown. Who them boy I really want take for clown? Them this last year I am profound and said. The leaders them a let the people down. I'm them holding and to strong when them a drown. And the big heads a let the people down. They always let the people we were from. And the big heads a let the people down. Try to blame it on the dancehall and the artists and the sound. The big heads a let the people down. Alright then, wow. Promises are comfort to a fool. Babylon I said them a go build more centers and school. I know me there to see a chair and next much less a stool, much less a yeah, wanna hear me now? Me never say a pencil nor a pen, much less a rule. I who them want take for fool, they can't fool. All the leaders them a let the people down. I'm them holding it to strong when them a drown. And the big guys a let the people down. Them drinking the people blood, them all blood down. And the big guys I let the people down. I'm them holding at the straw when them a drown. And the big guys I let the people down. Righteousness not on the youth, them in a clown. But get to youth not see from afar. Cause all they perpetrate is war, yeah. And the youth them a fight over house and car. Who want for the superstar? Well, I hear me see them we even sell you out if you and them a come from far. Man a red eye man over him on a car. Wow, walk one star. Yeah, I hear me for the blood. Hey, ooh. And the leaders them a let the people down. Have them holding at the straw when them a drown. And the leaders them a let the people down. Why they always let the people be found? The leaders them a let the people down. And them holding at the straw when them a drown. The leaders them a let the people down. Them try to blame it on the dancehall and the artists and the sound. The leaders a let the people down. Wow, wow, yeah, wow. Keep it burning now, 'cause I will never stop burning this food. Let them know Selassie
Blazing, perfect, unadulterated black light. Yeah, greetings, people. You know, interestingly, I was having a conversation with a dear friend the other night, and it was said to me, he said, listen, we miss your reasonings, we miss the teachings that you used to teach us. We miss the lectures and the information. Bring it forward, we need it. So in honor of that inspiration, we're going to present, and we're going to have a Garifuna, a brother that we know who has been to a compound town, understands the internet connection between the Garifuna, the Maroons, the native Indians of the native of the Caribbean.
Who them boy I really want take for clown? Them this last year I am profound and said. The leaders them a let the people down. I'm them holding at the straw when them a drown. And the big heads a let the people down. They always let the people we were from. And the big heads a let the people down. Try to blame it on the dancehall and the artists and the sound. The big heads a let the people down. Alright then, wow. Promises are comfort to a fool. Babylon I said them a go build more centers and school. I know me there to see a chair and next much less a stool, much less a yeah, wanna hear me now? Me never say a pencil nor a pen, much less a rule. I who them want take for fool, they can't fool. All the leaders them a let the people down. I'm them holding it to straw when them a drown. And the big guys a let the people down. Them drinking the people blood, them all blood down. And the big guys a let the
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
Freshradiovybz, the most feared internet radio station on planet Earth. The resistant radio station. Freshradiovybz. Freshradiovybz. Freshradiovybz, the most feared internet radio station on planet Earth. The resistant radio station. Freshradiovybz.
Boss, if you touch my blood clot,
Freshradiovybz. Freshradiovybz, the most feared.
Suck on the mother. Everybody go up on this blood clot every night. You can't come touch my thing. Go suck on the mother.